Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Land of Dreams and Nightmares. I'm your Dungeon Master, Esper. We have 4 players tonight. We're out 1 player. It's going to be a little bit sandbox-like as the campaign is shifting. We're moving into a new chapter. Things have fairly well wrapped up in the region of the Swamp Dwarves, and everyone has now boarded Captain Noxiqual's ship, the Storm's Eye. We'll do a quick announcement of who's playing and a quick recap, and then we'll jump into the gaming. So let's go. Dennis, Nick, Vince, Warsor.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dennis, and as usual, I play Lykar, the cynical storm sorcerer, who is level 8.
Hello, I'm Nick. I play Robin, the Arcane Trickster Road, who is level 7.
I am Vince. I play Drake Fell, the Wood Elf Monk Rogue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Warsor, and I play Captain Noxiqual, the human Hexblade Warlock, level 8.
So, last session was the aftermath of the big battle at Dirge Caverns. Your party, along with a few other choice NPCs, were heralded as champions in Norgal's Rock. Who has something to say about this experience?
I remember
just for recapping purposes.
Well, Drake pretty much spent as much of it as he could outside, away from the main celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Who got the inspiration last time? Was it Drake? I think it was. Because of your roleplay.
No, I don't think I got it.
Was it Adam?
I think actually Adam got it.
I think it was Adam. That's funny.
Yeah, he's not here. He
well.
got it.
He was a good
wait.
roleplayer.
I think you actually got it.
Did I?
Yeah, because we couldn't decide if it was the player or the character that got it.
Okay. Don't argue with it.
Warsor, do you prefer even or odd?
Even.
We're gonna let the dice decide.
I'm okay with
Here we
that.
go.
The mighty D20 of fate has decided even with an 18. So yes, there was much great role playing last time, and we'll go with the inspiration to Noxiqual. So use it this session.
I'll give a recap too if you like.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So last time there was a large celebration at the Dwarven halls. There was much singing and praising of the Dwarven soldiers who fell. And the leaders of the clan gave us a bunch of gifts, including great weapons of their clan, an emerald of great value, things of that nature that were, prized possessions. And then the party commenced. There was lots of drinking, feasting, and even wedding proposals. There was a wedding proposal to
Kiddish,
the dwarf who was leaving the party.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like he's probably going to go for it.
It does seem like that. It was a political marriage that he seemed in favor of. Mm-hmm. What his on the side piece nymph might think of that, we'll see in due time.
Oh, yeah.
There was a wedding proposal to Lykar.
Mm-hmm.
There was a dwarf that wanted to merge the bloodline, storm bloodline of his, with help me out here, Esper.
Well, there was a dwarven girl who seemed to have sorceress power as well. Not storm power, but still innate sorcery.
They wanted to merge those bloodlines into a stronger sorceress bloodline. But Lykar has, he's like, I'm not for that.
Yeah,
and
turned it down nicely.
I'm sure Lykar can speak for himself on that. And there was one more proposal, not a marriage proposal, but more of like a betting proposal.
I think more of a proposition.
Yes, a proposition's a good way to put it, to Captain Noxiqual. Because everyone was scared of Captain Noxiqual and his dark powers, but this one dwarf found that attractive. But she was very drunk. I cast a suggestion spell to make her attracted to Kivish's character, just because I was like, he's leaving the party. I gotta give him a sending off. And that for 8 hours he was not so happy with Captain Nox, I'm sure, if he knew that even
So Kivish has this plan that he's working on where he's going to form a new dwarven clan. And he wants to form it in Merkulon's Jaw, close to the Ambrosia Temple. And he wants to have a priority of securing the Ambrosia Temple and protecting the god Morpheus. So he will be doing that. He's also delivering Avery's remains.
Avery's remains.
Avery's remains to the Mossbeards. So Kivish essentially is not currently traveling with the party. We'll check back with him at some point, probably in the future, I would imagine. But there's two newcomers that showed up throughout this grand celebration. Carderock Huckness of Rockness, but actually from Sumnerfield. And his traveling companion,
Robin.
Robin.
Robin of Robin.
Yeah. Robin, who's his true intentions are yet to be seen, but he seems a capable fellow, scout, and we'll just say a scout. He seemed to impress Noxiqual. The things that he said to Noxiqual seem to be of interest. There could be mutual beneficial. There could be mutual benefits for this alliance.
I'll say this: he impressed me before Carderock, so he got on the crew before Carderock.
Hey. As it should be.
That is true. Carderock was a bit of a wily one.
Harder sell.
You all got access to the library of the Emerald Mages there at Norgle's Rock, where you discovered all kinds of different things.
Oh yeah.
You got the true name of some demons, Noxiqual. You got some locations of the Cairn coast on your map. Lykar, you discovered some more about the Storm Titan Telvantus and the sort of half Titan, half, essentially like a demigod child that he sired with a woman, and this child went on to become this god called Atalos the Reaver. And the woman that he coupled with, he kind of like stole her or seduced her from her husband, who was a knight. And you have put two and two together, and it seems that this dark rider that's been following you is like the shade or the undead spirit of this knight.
It's secretly me.
Ringolf Bracken, I believe, was the name.
Mm-hmm.
I take notes.
Yes. You have taken good notes on this. I think there were some other bits. There were some other little things you found in the library. There probably would have been some like spell books, but I don't think anyone here particularly makes usage of wizardry. All right, so I guess that about does it. You all have boarded Captain Noxiqual's ship, and they are. They're heading for the Cairn coast. You're probably heading first of all to like Grenadoa to like get some more cargo and stuff, and then launching out from there. Does that sound like a fair guess?
Is there any cargo that we could pick up here and take there?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
We do that. I'll put 710 gold into, cargo shipping.
Okay, so you buy 710 GP worth of cargo in Norgle's Rock. Norgle's Rock has a number of different trade goods of value. They have coal, they have iron, they have gemstones, they have swamp herbs. So you get loaded up with 710 GP worth of that, which fills up a pretty sizable amount of your cargo hold. And from there, you do a bit of sailing. Now your ship is not a large ship. It's a small to mid-sized ship. It's small enough to where you can travel on most of the rivers. If it's like a major river, your ship can travel on it.
I like it. That way.
Yeah. So you're able to travel rivers. So you get out of the swamp region and you're heading southwards across Dreckengrim. You get here into a plains region. This area here used to have some thriving villages, particularly Crocus League used to be thriving, and they would It was farmsteads mostly. But that's a bit fallen by the wayside. This area is now kind of a graveyard of fallen soldiers from the War of Three Dooms, and not much of the soil is fertile nowadays. You pass by Strang's Keep. The soldiers there, as always, they'll halt you. They halt pretty much anyone that goes through. They ask you some questions. You know, where are you coming from? Who's on your ship? What do you have? Just essentially customs as you're entering into kind of like the human territory. Do you deal with the soldiers of Strang's Keep in a straightforward manner? What's your demeanor here?
How many
Captain
soldiers are
Noxiqual
there?
has a reputation, and I would hope that they know better than to push him too hard. But he's open.
They know you. Oh, yes. They've had many interactions with you over the years.
So long as they don't like make a nuisance for him, he's willing to submit to the bare minute. Like he does what they need to fill out the check boxes on their little form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If they try and like make his life a hassle, well, that's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no hassling. It's you stick to the formalities, and that that is as it is.
Mm-hmm.
There is talk of your company now being called the Stormbringers. The captain of Strang's Keep actually posted something on the news board there. There's like a nice piece of parchment nailed onto a news post, and you're getting a few more questions from the soldiers this time around, though not investigative type questions, but more questions like, we've heard tales of your deeds in the Dwarven lands. Is it true what we heard of swamp battles?
Everything you've heard about me is true.
In that case, I'll keep my eye on you even more closely.
Give him a wink.
So a name is building of these heroes in Dreckengrim.
And if there is ever a coin for someone of our, like the Stormbringers, well, you merely have to put out the word to all the places where we frequent. I'm sure we'll be able to find you.
The soldiers here are wielders of steel and law, not storms. You're still a bit of a wild card in their eyes, but they seem pretty interested that you all are, rising up in the realm. There's a bit of fame that is following you wherever you go now. You continue along the Rosbus River, making your way through the Plains land. Once you pass through Grandfather Bridge, or rather you pass under the Great Grandfather Bridge, now you're really starting to feel a sense of civilization. Here's where you find Sumnerfield. This is the great settlement of Dreckengrim. It still would pale in comparison to truly large cities, but it is the only city that is known in the current age in this realm. And there are a number of farmsteads and villas in the surrounding countryside. You continue on from Sumnerfield all the way down, actually out here, crossing past Bliskmill and out into the coastal waters. And once again, Noxiqual and whoever is a lover of the sea, you have the wonderful briny salt wind blowing against your face.
Is there like a like, I don't know what they're called, the binocular, like like the single eye things? Like
Spyglass.
Spyglass.
Spyglass. Is there a spyglass?
Is there a spyglass on board this ship?
Yeah.
Noxiqual, is there a spyglass on board your ship?
Oh, probably in the captain's cabin. Seems like a useful tool.
All right, I want to go get the spyglass and just sort of act like a pirate as I'm looking out at the sea to try.
You're going to enter the captain's cabin.
Yes, I'm going to attempt to empty the captain's cabin.
Maybe this was your second session.
So we'll say this is Reuben the quartermaster that you're speaking with here. Robin. So he is a human man, and he has a look about him like he is all too eager. And he's his spyglass looking this way and that way and all about. And you come up and you ask him about this. Oh, yes. Oh, take a look here. Oh, don't put it in that end. The other way. Yes, that you got that. Look out there. I think it's a drake, maybe a wyvern.
What do I see? Is there a drake?
He points off the side of the deck.
I'm gonna look on the side of the deck. I'm gonna try and see what he saw. So is that actually a drake or a wyvern? Oh, it's Drake. Oh,
No, I'm just joking. I was saying it would be hilarious if he was looking at Drake.
There is some thing flying, some largish thing flying, not close by, there in the distance, maybe betwixt these low-hanging sea clouds.
In a piratey voice, "Aye, Captain, I see something off the ship."
Oh, you call me Captain? I quite like the sound of that. Maybe it will be someday. Oh, don't let Noxiqual hear that.
Hear what exactly?
Hey, his voice is in my head. Just wait till you start sleeping. He'll be in your dreams.
I'm gonna look at.
So whatever that thing was, it's flown far into the horizon. It's you're not sure what it was, but something flew by there. So he is.
Sorry, while we're going, is Drake able to work with his falcon at all, or no?
Man, that broke up. Can you say it again?
Is Drake able to train his falcon at all along this trip? Because we've been making stops every once in a while, and we're constantly moving. So I was just wondering. Am I breaking up or no?
It's totally breaking up. Is anyone else having that breakup?
No one else is having that breakup, Esper.
No, I can hear him okay.
I blast these lightning methods in my connection here.
You need more ravens to send the information to us.
Yes, I need more lightning ravens to be going faster through the tubes. All right, try once again.
Drake's falcon, is he able to train it along this trip?
Okay. Would you like to be training your falcon as you go?
Yeah, if we can. If he can.
Okay. So as you travel for these couple days here, you take time daily to spend an amount of time training your falcon. What sort of training are you interested in? Is this just like a generalized, fetch, go out to fetch things,
and
or do you have something?
Mostly just fetching and return at this point.
The falcon, you found it at the temple, is that right? Your Sunderwave temple.
Yeah, he stole it pretty much when it was young, so it hasn't been trained yet.
Okay, you stole the falcon as a, I don't know what you call a falconling, maybe.
Well, it'd technically be chick in general.
As a chick, okay. You stole it as a chick, and you've cared for it. Was that difficult for you?
No, because Drake worked with the other falcons there, so he had access, so he was easily able to steal it. Its parentage was one of the better ones, so it's the reason why he took it. But it mostly was just
you haven't found it difficult to care for the bird.
Not massively difficult.
No. Have you found it difficult to keep it safe?
That, yes. For the most part, he's been able to keep it out of combat.
Was there a moment where it almost was where it got hurt or maybe endangered in one of these combats sessions we saw?
Possibly the first combat session that we had.
Maybe got a little bit burnt on a wing from a fireball somewhere in there.
Yeah, by one of the little buggers. I can't remember their name. When we were down in that thing to go to that god.
Yeah, maybe in that big battle in the Cavern of Bones. Okay, and what does the falcon represent to you? What does it mean to you?
To Drake, it represents where he came from, and at the same time, it represents a chance to be new, to find his path.
Mhm.
Can I make
Is it a fast bird? I think of falcons as being pretty
Yeah, it's
fast.
the peregrine. It's the fastest. Well, I
Uh-huh.
don't know within D&D, within fantasy realms, but in real life, it's the fastest animal on the planet.
Wow. Okay, and you're pretty fast yourself, Drake.
Yeah, that's the other part of the reason why he took it.
Okay. So, do you see this creature as just a practical thing, like how a hunter might have a hunting dog, or do you have some sort of personal connection with it? Do you have a bond growing with it?
Small bond. He's trying to nurture that bond, but he's not worried completely if it doesn't grow.
Okay. Make an animal handling check. This is going to represent the practical amount of success with your training.
All right. Okay.
Can I help with that, Esper?
20, unnatural.
That's highly successful. You find that the bird is growing more bonded with you. It like when you're done with your training set, it's taking to the training very well. So this go fetch. I'm not sure exactly what your command words would be, but that's all.
Yeah,
that's all developing.
There'd probably be a mixture of temple speak, like a chant from the temple, and Elven, a mixture of that.
Okay, so you have some specific command words, and it's learning it's kind of its tricks, but as well you do have quite a bond that's growing with this creature. It sees you as a parent, and in an extent that a bird might do, it's showing signs of affection to you, nudging, nuzzling you. Maybe trying to like groom you with its beak, as if it's like getting a little dead hairs pulled off, or bugs eaten out of you. Yeah, maybe he pulls a swamp bug out of your hair that you missed back in the Dinge Morris, and it's all too happy to snarf down this tick. And oh gosh, yeah, I didn't know that was there, but that feels much better now.
What's your bird's name again?
The bird technically doesn't have a name.
Well, I think now would be a perfect time to give it a name.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with a name. I don't have one off the top of my head.
You're a wood elf, yes?
Yeah.
Would you like to give it an elven word, or would you like to give it a word like storm feather or something?
It would be elven. For Drake, it would be elven because he wants to keep it like separate from the temple as well at the same time. So he can go with an elven. That's why it's like a mixture of some elven commands and some common
Okay.
commands.
Avio.
Okay, I'm gonna need to know how that's spelled.
AVI EUX.
So
Avio. I guess that'd be like Aviu. So how about Avio? AVIO. Go with that for now.
Oh yeah.
Robin, did you have any other? You were messing with the spyglass. Did you have any thoughts with that?
Oh no, I'm just like messing around with it and looking around, trying to be piratey.
Okay. Well, the quartermaster is quite happy to talk to you about navigation and nautical charts and the usage of spyglasses and how spyglasses are constructed and the way in which these lenses are cut and polished, and that is a very expensive thing. You don't drop it in the water. And
wait, he says it's very expensive?
Oh yes, he does. Very, very expensive.
Is it just
yes, you must be careful with that one. Don't drop it in the water. That falls down. Oh, that could mean your head.
I'll say, oh no, don't worry. I'll keep a very good eye. As I'm looking through, I'm gonna like casually like put it in my pouch as I walk out and be like, don't worry, it won't fall out in here.
But wait, no, don't. I need that. That's mine. That's mine. Don't take that.
I'm just gonna keep walking back to the deck where Noxiqual is.
No, you come back here this instant.
Noxiqual, your little friend is very confused for some reason. He thinks that I've taken something.
I turn my one eye on you and say, "What's going on here?"
Oh, nothing at all.
I
We were
was
just talking
showing
about,
him
navigation.
how to use a spyglass and a bit about navigation and such. And well, he won't give it back. Probably confusion. His dialect is a bit weird.
Put my hands up.
I fix you with my one eye, and I actually hang on 1 second. Just checking something here. Was trying to just see if I had a fear effect. Nope, don't have one handy. So Noxiqual says, let me just get his name real quick in front of me. Ruben. It is Ruben, right?
Ruben.
Robin.
No, Ruben is my
Ruben is the
quartermaster.
quartermaster.
Ruben. You say this man has stolen something of yours.
Oh, well, just
That's a very
he
serious
hasn't given
accusation.
it back yet, and I don't know if he understood what I explained to him. But
Robin.
I guess.
I want you to understand something. This is a very small ship. I won't tolerate thieves on my ship.
I'm gonna say I would never steal from you, Noxiqual. I was just looking at and then I'm gonna pull it out. So I was just looking at the spyglass. I thought I might look out
you would
for some
not
land later on.
steal from me.
Of course
And
not.
That's not why we're talking. I was giving you a friendly warning that thieves on a ship like this, so small, would not find room to exist here. Just keep that in mind.
I understand.
You,
And I'm gonna
enjoy
go
my
back.
hospitality.
Gonna go back to looking through it again.
Okay. Fine. I look at Ruben and I say, "Is this matter settled? I trust."
Robin.
Yes.
I nod my
Return the
head.
spyglass.
I look and I say, "Return it," but I want to learn more about it. I've never really been on a ship before.
Oh man, where's the Lykar when I need one?
There's a couple of crewmen that are working nearby, doing their they're repairing some rigging or such, and they look over at you, Robin, and one of them says, "Hey, you'd better give it back. I've seen him cut a man's head off before." Real serious faced guy, like a gruff man.
I'm gonna look at him.
You may. I won't lift a finger against you. Just remember, there's 15 other people on this ship, and you have to sleep sometime.
Gonna look around. I'm gonna say, as I hand it back to Ruben, the spyglass, I'm gonna say, "Well, you all have to sleep eventually as well."
Yes, but you need them to sail the ship. What do they need you for?
I'm very good at stealing things.
Obviously not.
Damn, was that
True.
Lykar interjecting?
Yeah, like I just interject, like obviously not.
That'd be great. But no,
I do hand the spyglass
I want this to be an object lesson of Captain Noxiqual is not putting his hands on the situation. He just wanted to bring to your attention, like, you want these people to like you. You know what I mean? You
Oh
don't
yeah,
want
no.
them to get on their bad side.
Understood.
That's all it is.
Oh, well, I'm glad we got that little misunderstanding settled. And, yes, well, I have much to do. We're charting a course to Grenadoa. That's right. That's the place that we're going to now. We've done this trek many times before. Should be no trouble at all. Have a good day.
Ruben, don't get your hopes up. Yeah.
Ruben, the quartermaster, begins to scamper away. Some of the other crew members... One guy spits a nice wad of something black. He'll learn soon enough.
I just give a nod of approval.
Well, all right, so the voyage continues. I think it's only going to take about a day or two to arrive in the port town of Grenadoa.
Yeah, the ship moves at, it looks like...
Here we are.
5 miles a day? Or no, 5 miles an hour. So 120 miles a day.
Yes, indeed. So I'll say you get there in about a day or two. You arrive in Grenadoa. At least that's it's expected to arrive in a day or two. These waters are generally fairly calm, and indeed throughout the trek, nothing of note really happens. It's getting cold. Winter is quickly falling over Drakengrim, and the second day there's even snow flurries in the morning. Pretty chilly. You sail onwards. You round the peninsula here, and you enter into this region called the Cairn Coast, which is this region here. You sail around back westwards. In the distance, you make out the lonesome lighthouse. It is a great stony tower that is atop a rocky islet there in the sea, and it has a whitish, ghostly flame it never seems to die. And you arrive in Grenadoa. This is a castle town, a decent-sized town, though historically it was busier. It used to be booming with trade. It still is the busiest port in Drakengrim, but that's not exactly a huge claim to fame anymore. Yeah. But it did historically used to be booming with trade. There was much trade, particularly with major cities such as Frossenfolk in Naperna, Kostroma in Magnaland, Vandagash in Magnaland, as well with Bazagon, that great hub of civilization at the center of the world. But nowadays, it's basically just a fraction of this former industry due to the haunted and cursed state of Drakengrim. So you're going to see some abandoned and disrepaired sections. Even the wharf, it's just down to, some of its piers. Not all of them are currently being functioned, but you do are currently functioning. But you do see some other ships there. You see some fishing boats here in the harbor. You hear a sound of harbor bells ringing. The ship lays to. The crew sets out the moorings. A representative of the wharf master comes down the pier to greet whoever it is that's going to be doing the formalities. Will that be yourself, Noxiqual, or do you have someone else handling the work here? The formalities.
Noxiqual, is always a little leery when he comes to Grenadoa. There's some past history here for him. So, maybe Kobe or someone else to deal with that.
Okay, so you send first mate Kobe the Lion, who's going to meet with Haskin. He is basically the second in command underneath the wharf master here, and they go through again the formalities and filling out the manifest of the ship. At the moment, you don't really have a lot of things to declare. Oh wait, no, actually, you are bringing in cargo. Indeed, yeah. Yes,
Want
you
me
do.
To roll it?
What's that?
Want me to roll it?
I want you to
the profit.
Okay. So you want to just go straight into selling?
I mean, that's what we're here for, yeah.
Oh wait, are we selling things?
Yeah.
Could I help sell things?
No.
I'm very good with speaking.
Just a quick question: would Drake see this place as a city or no? Would this town look like a city to Drake?
Okay, so what you see, Drake, is a decent sized port with a number of piers coming out, and wooden walkways and jetties and such. Some of it is not in use; others are. There's some port structures, such as like a little port market. There's a lot of industrial stuff for shipping and receiving and ship repairs and ship construction. Probably a brothel or two and some taverns. Then beyond that, there's a high stone wall, and you can see on the other side of the wall there are the tops of structures indicating some settlement. Not a massive city, but it is indeed a sizable town.
Okay.
You also see the towers of the keep of the actual castle. That is the focal point of Grenadoa.
Okay, so Drake wouldn't be straight up panicked, but he would be a little uneasy here then.
All right, so you're not completely repulsed by this settlement, though it's of sufficient size to kind of put you on edge.
Yeah. So Drake's pretty much probably just going to stay on the boat out and try not to look at the city or the town.
Okay, so Drake decides, I'm not getting off the ship. Noxiqual and some of the crew, they're going ashore. They're going to do some trading. They're going to be trying to sell some cargo, and perhaps they'll do some other things. Who else is going into Grenadoa?
I want to go in Grenadoa.
All right.
Mind if Lykar accompanies me? I can trust him.
Yep, I'll go along.
Excellent.
Okay. So your group heads into Grenadoa. It seems like Noxiqual is very business-minded and is heading straight to speak with the Merchants Guild essentially here. Grenadoa has a few different major guilds. The Merchants Guild is going to be the one who actually has the say on all the trade here. So you have to like meet with them, and they kind of get the deals worked out, and they get it dispersed and such amongst the the actual constituent shops. So you're speaking with them. Make a persuasion check to represent how well your trading goes.
Landed on the edge of the table, but on a nat 20.
Very nice.
You coming up with
25 total.
excellent. 710.
I have 100. Yeah, 710. And so 1.5. Want me to run it through the calculator for you?
I'm on it.
Tell me what it is then.
You have profited 1,065 gold pieces.
Nice.
So
Your investment was well placed in these dwarven goods, and your bartering was most successful. And you come away with a hefty profit.
Yeah. How much was it?
1,065.
Thank you.
Ka-ching.
Yep. I'm keeping track of that money separately. It's ship goods because I figure I'm just going to keep reinvesting it, and we can draw money out of it if we ever need to do a buying, party thing.
Sounds good.
But, we might just upgrade the ship or whatever. Let me just put that down. Total of 1,775 now.
There is a bit of news that's going around in Grenadoa, so you all would hear it just by way of being in the town. If you want to do other things in the town, just let me know what your character's interested in. But there is one bit of news that just anyone's going to hear it simply by way of being there because it's pretty big news. There is a galley known as the Levin Gouger. It is sailed by Captain Rojas Spurbeek, adventurer and social provocateur as well. He and his motley crew. They have begun making voyages, successful voyages out of Drekengrim.
Say that one more time because I'm very curious.
So there is a ship. It's a galley. It's called Levin Gouger. It's captained by Rojas Spurbeek. He is known as an adventurer and provocateur. He has some, we'll say, effects on social topics that he can be a bit rakish or controversial at moments. Polemic figure, you could say. This ship has begun making successful voyages out of Drekengrim. They have sailed out through the mist already twice now. They've sailed out and back.
Interesting. Like, isn't the mist...
So there's all kinds of speculations. I mean, this is like the people in the town are talking about this. So everyone has their opinion. Everyone has their idea. Everyone's speculating as to what's going on. How can they do this? And, one guy's like, well, my grandfather's done that before. You just have to be careful. It's not just the mist is going to eat your ship alive like it's a wall of termites. You just got to keep your eyes peeled. And if you see something strange lurking in the fog, sail the other way. And then other people are like, "Ah, you're full of shit. Your grandpa was just a drunken madman." And there's all kinds of different opinions that everyone has on this matter. There's a lot of speculation going on. So you all can pursue that if you want this news, or you can go and do other things in Grenadoa. The world is your oyster, my friends.
Where's the captain at?
Yeah, is he in town?
Yeah, so I was going to ask, is this ship in town?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's determine where you all are at the moment. You've just done some bartering, so we'll say that you're in like the marketplace of Grenadoa. There are a number of shops. There's like a square nearby. There are a couple of drinking establishments, some tap rooms or taverns or such.
By the way, I pay everyone on my crew so that they have drinking money and things because we just made a good payday.
Could I
Captain Noxiqual? Harsh, but generous when he's in a good mood.
Yeah. You all can have like 5 gold each too.
Could I like ask around some, try and like figure out like where this captain is, since it seems like we're all interested in it?
Please go ahead, Nick. It's the spotlight's yours.
Okay, so it sounds like you're going from sort of establishment to establishment here in the marketplace, just striking up conversations with people that are there.
Mm-hmm. And like specifically like the people who are like who I hear that are mentioning the rumors and things of that nature. Just trying to get any information about this captain possible.
Okay, so you just heard these two guys. This is these group of guys speaking. We'll say they're outside of like an outfitter's shop that has all your basic kinds of goods, ropes and wagon parts and such. And so you've got, we'll say like 4 graying men there in front of you, and they're kind of giving each other hell about this and talking about the news.
All right, yeah, I would like to approach them. Be like, what was the captain's name again? What was this? Forgot his name.
Spoorbeak?
Rojas Spoorbeak. You probably just call him Captain Rojas.
Captain Rojas.
Why is this one elven fellow coming up here? Long time I haven't been seeing one of your like.
Sort of give him a nod, say, I heard you talking about Captain Rojas. I was quite interested in him. Do you know where I could possibly meet up with him, perhaps have a discussion?
Meet with him? What? Am I his uncle or something?
Well, I mean, with that kind of hat, maybe. I'm gonna flick him like a.
You got singe marks on your ears from passing under lamps.
I'm gonna like flick him like a gold coin and be like, so anything you happen could tell me about this captain? It seems like you know a bit about him at least.
The one guy picks up the golden coin, bites it, realizes it's real. It is real, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Right. Realizes it's real, and they like stop their mocking of the elf here, and they're like, oh yes, find him. Just go down to the wharf, and sooner or later he'll be there. Yes, that's what I would do.
All right, I'm gonna sort of step in a little closer and be like, "You're sure?"
Yes.
Can I tell if he's a little?
One of the other ones, like the fattest one in the bunch, he kind of like slaps his big old beer gut, and he's like,
No, don't waste your time at the damn wharf. You'll be sitting out there for days, months maybe. He's an adventurer. He does whatever he wants. But if you go drinking, well, that's where you're going to find maybe some of his old crewmen. Just go over there to the Lusty Mermaid and ask around a bit about old Captain Rojas. They can tell you a deal or two.
All right. I think I'll go check that out. And I'll flip him a gold coin as well, since he seemed to have a bit more information.
Forgive my curiosity, Sir Elf. Are you by any means affiliated with this heroes from the Dwarven lands?
The heroes from the Dwarven Land. Yes, I've heard of them before.
Yeah, I heard that. The Storm's Eye came into port just earlier this morning. Is it true Captain Noxiqual keeps the souls of his crew in a bag?
I'm gonna say, I have heard that before. It's quite frightening, Captain Noxiqual there. I've heard that if you steal from him, he'll throw you overboard.
Well, that's just par for the course. As long as he doesn't take your soul.
Fair.
You could have gone much better with that one.
Yeah. I would say, thank you for the information about Captain Rojas. I will see you lads perhaps at the Lusty Mermaid sometime. I'm gonna start walking.
Come back anytime you want to throw some more coins at us.
I nod to them as I walk away to the.
I like your ears.
I'm gonna sort of chuckle.
One of the guys is like, he's trying to butter you up to like shower you with compliments to get more money out of you.
I'm gonna sort of walk up to him and be like, I'm fine with paying for information, but I'm not a fan of people who just try to compliment me to get money. Perhaps you should take that somewhere else.
He looks at you, he stammers, he seems not sure what to say, if he should be nice to you or be mean to you. And he just kind of like goes back, and the other guys laugh at him. They're like, all right, well, good luck finding that captain.
Thank you. I'm gonna start heading to the Lusty Mermaid. I'll tell my friends here about what I found out and invite them to come to the Lusty Mermaid with me. Perhaps we can.
You come to us.
Yeah. I'm gonna first go to Captain Noxiqual. I'm gonna say, Captain, I learned a little bit about this Captain Rojas. Apparently, he loves mermaids, specifically the lusty ones. And I'm gonna point in the direction.
Make a deception check for me.
No, I'm telling you the truth about the lusty mermaids. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you totally telling the truth that you know that for a fact.
I'm telling you that I found out about it from some ruffians that I found in the street.
Sure. I look at Lykar. I look back at Robin and I say, you remind me a lot of this fellow that we met a little while before you. Lykar, perhaps you can refresh my memory on that fellow. He was a thief, I think, Aye,
his name was Harley. And I used to do this, zap, and I zap Robin. I used to do that to him all the time.
I sort of get taken aback a little bit and look at you a little angry, but understanding. I'm gonna say, Harley. I actually know of Harley. He was someone. He wasn't really a friend per se, but I knew of him. Whatever happened to the old lad?
Let's see. What did happen to him? I think a lot of javelins and arrows porcupined him.
He ran into some skeleton issues.
Yes. Well, I always thought that he'd get himself involved in some kind of bad situation at some point. He had a knack for getting in those kinds of situations, but sure that won't happen.
He was doing amazing until he decided to make one questionable decision. It's okay. You already told me in your interview that if that exact situation ever happened, that you wouldn't do it. That was part of the interview process with you.
Fair enough.
Fortune favors the bold. So does death.
But anyways, would you all like to come to the Lusty Mermaid with me? Even if the old captain's not there, perhaps we can find some other attractions.
I'll be honest, it's not really that sort of thing. Seems like a waste of money to me. I don't pay for that.
A waste of money.
Yes, I don't pay for that.
Very interesting, Captain. Very interesting. I'm gonna start walking in the direction of the Lusty Mermaid.
I'll lean over to Lykar, but please, Lykar, say something you were about to.
I was just going to ask, is there anything else in the city that would be maybe out of the ordinary or different, or maybe like a magic shop or anything that we can go check out?
There's much magic to be had in the Lusty Mermaid, Lykar. You must enjoy yourselves, my friends.
Nick jokes about that, but watch it like be like a little magic shop in there, and like there's actually like
yeah, like I'm actually gonna find the magic.
But Lykar, I'm gonna like nudge you a little bit as he walks off towards the Lusty Mermaid, and I'll say, "Yep, how much you want to bet he gets a disease and has to see the ship healer by the time he gets back?"
I will be calling a cleric before too long.
I'm gonna call back.
Your gold.
I'm gonna call back. I'm gonna say it hasn't happened yet.
Well, don't spend your gold all in one place.
Don't worry, it's your gold.
So, Robin's going into the Lusty Mermaid, but not Lykar and Noxiqual?
Yeah, I figured Lykar and me will go look for magic stuff like he wants.
Is Drake coming with me?
Drake's on board. Drake's on board the ship.
Drake's is not feeling good with the city. Like, he's on edge, so he's not going to go into the city. One of his things is if it's a city, he panics, and it's just big enough to start.
Depending on how good this Lusty Mermaid is, I might come back and invite you to have a good time with me.
Drake won't go. He would have no clue.
Persuasion check.
With disadvantage.
Natural 20. You're coming with me.
Hey Drake, I just have to warn you though. Stay out of the hold. Some say it's kind of haunted. There may be some manifestations down there.
Awesome.
I mean, there was a dark ritual, and Esper knows what I'm talking about that happened.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably more than one. So,
yeah, probably more than one.
What is Drake doing? Is he training his falcon? Is he speaking with the crew? Is he training? Is he meditating? What's his?
He's doing a mixture of training and meditating.
So you're not socializing with the crew of the Storm's Eye?
If they're in the area, he'll socialize, but not. He's not going out of his way to socialize.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so they pretty well let you do your thing. You're Basagonian, you're an elf, you've got this mystical art that they don't understand. He is one of Noxiqual's allies, and Noxiqual's into some eldritch learnings that we don't understand. They don't bother you, and you train, you meditate, you have this personal time to yourself, which you probably value that quite a bit.
Yeah, Drake values that a lot. Be able to meditate and just kind of self-center and pray a bit.
It seems like Nick is out. All right, so Noxiqual and Lykar. Oh, Nick, are you here?
Sorry, what? Yeah, I've been here the whole time. Hello?
Oh, okay. Oh, there you are. I don't know. I wasn't seeing you. Okay. So let's go to you, because Nox and Lykar, they're looking around. You two actually are pretty familiar with Grenadoa, especially Noxiqual. You've been here before. You don't know of any magic shop. It's not really a place like that.
Yeah.
However, sometimes you do have to look around and find the right place.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're arcane emporiums in every meaning of the word. So we'll get back to you all. Let's keep looking over Robin's shoulder for this scene. Okay, so Robin,
the Lusty Mermaid. Yes.
You find just like the next street over. You don't have to walk very far. I mean, it's just like buildings next to buildings. It's just everything sandwiched together here, and you come across a building that. It is not wide. It's a kind of a narrow building, but it's pretty tall. It's like 4 stories tall.
Oh, wow.
And there's like these little wooden stairs that are sagging. Like you can see like lots of people have come up and down these stairs. And there is a door. There's no words. There's no sign. But on the door, painting, like an old like fading out, flaking painting of a well-endowed.
I'm sorry, what? You were lagging a little bit. Is it just me?
No.
Okay.
You enter into this establishment going through the door that has a painted, well-endowed mermaid on the front.
Ah, fantastic.
Yes. You enter inside, and a veritable bouquet of aromas waft into your nostrils that are a mixture of heavy, cheap perfumes, heavy, cheap wine, and something like old sweat.
Oh, it's like the cheap one. It's like the budget lusty mermaid.
So there is a small tavern room. It's just lit by 2 candles, so it's pretty dim in there. And there are some benches to the side, and there's like 3 tables, small tables. It's a very small room. You feel like you're right up there, shoulder to shoulder with everyone who is here. There are a few patrons here, guys drinking. There are some girls here. They are dressed in revealing and alluring way. You hear some giggles. You are met by a woman who is wearing nice lacy clothing, form-fitting, a bodice and everything on her gown. She's got a lot of makeup on. Her skin is like just this pasty pale white, probably with layers of powder put on. Her lips are super red. She's got a bunch of rouge, thick eye and brow makeup, and this like riot of like a reddish orange, like a mane of hair.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She looks to be like maybe 30 something. If you took off all that makeup, maybe 40 something.
10 years of makeup.
Yes,
a lot of makeup.
rather buxom. And she approaches you. Oh, hello there, newcomer. I'm Lady Marmalade. It's a pleasure to meet you. She kisses you on the cheek.
I sort of like let her do that, and I'm like, "Thank you, Lady Marmalade. This is the first time I've been in your establishment. What is there to do here?
Can I get you something to drink, something to perk up your spirits, or perhaps some pleasing company to soothe your wearied wayfarer's heart?"
Let's start with that drink for now. How much would it be?
So she just asks you for pieces for a cup.
How many?
And
sorry,
2
2 gold
coppers.
pieces? All right. Oh, 2 coppers. Oh wow. Okay.
2 coppers for a cup, and they get you a cup. There is a girl that brings you a nice cup of wine, pretty cheap wine, but yeah, common stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There is a fair-haired lass who also is wearing some revealing clothing. Cute thing, if seen from a certain angle. She flirts with you a little bit. This younger girl, as she, puts the cup right into your hands. Maybe does a little stroke. Ooh, I like elves. Beautiful people they are, but I don't understand your language. But that's okay. I don't have to know the words for it to enchant my heart.
I'm gonna speak in Elvish a little bit, sort of like in a soothing way, to try and like go back with the flirting with her a little bit.
What do you say to her?
Oh boy. In Elvish, I'll say
Open up.
let me think of something good.
It's on a whole new meaning here.
In Elvish, I'll say
Yes.
your
Say that.
your eyes are beautiful, my lady, and I would love to perhaps be closer to you later on tonight. And then I'll give her a wink.
Okay, so you say this line to her, and are you saying it like in a really romantic type of way?
Yes,
All
very,
right, so
very.
You put your Elvish on it, and she's like, oh. She's kind of hamming it up a little bit. I mean, that's her job, but she's like swooning and tell me more. I love it. And you look around. There's a few other guys here. They're drinking. Most of them have like maybe a comrade at their table, and they're talking in a low voice. There's another guy who's laughing loud. He has another girl with him. Lady Marmalade just kind of like lets you do your thing. She backs off and lets you chat with fair Veron that you're speaking with here.
Okay.
Yes. There are also some other girls who are interested. They kind of start congregating around. there is Helga, Helga, and Helga. The three Helgas.
The three Helgas. Oh boy, so three
Yes.
Helgas and Fair Veron. All right.
Yes.
Does it seem as though like any of the men in this in the Lusty Mermaid, do they seem sort of like that they might fit the descriptions that I've been hearing about the captain at all? Or like any like sort of
They do not. You got a description of Captain Rojas, and he seems pretty bombastic, dandy, colorful. They say he even like colors his beard and like puts it into spikes, and he puts like feathers in his hat. He's like this kind of swashy fellow. None of these guys look like that, though they do look like sorts who, well, they look like locals. It's a port town, so they have that kind of briny way to them. You know what I mean? Yeah,
very nice. All right. With the
Veron feigns quite a bit of jealousy with the other Helgas, or with the three Helgas nearby. Oh, yes, these are my friends. We have Helga the bosomy, Helga the salty, and Helga the fishy.
I'm actually gonna respond and say the fishy, like questioning it.
She the one who gets called fishy, she like stomps her feet on the ground. It's like, stop calling me that. She doesn't like that nickname at all.
Oh, I wonder why.
The guy who's laughing with the other girl, he's like, oh yeah, I smelled it. It's fishy, all right.
Do I sense a smell of fishiness coming from the Helga?
It smells like perfume, a heavy perfume.
Heavy perfume. Okay.
Scent of mackerel.
I'm going to sort of like get a little closer to Fair Veron. I'm gonna say
Sure. Yeah, she has a sandy blonde hair, 20-somethings woman. She's quite enthusiastic in her interactions with you.
I'm gonna sort of say, would you care to have a drink with me?
She says, would you care to go to the room and bring your ship into port?
Oh, golly.
She says, I will rock you like a hurricane gale. You will never forget.
Oh boy. I won't say that in game. I'm gonna sort of take the last of my cup, drink the whole thing, and then put it down and sort of nod my head and let her lead the way to the back.
Okay. So she leads you
to find the captain, Noxiqual.
She leads you through a narrow corridor up these like steep, narrow, creaking stairs. You have to like put your back against the wall to let some other people by that are coming down. And she takes you up to a room on the second floor, small personal chambers. She lights a little, it's not even a beeswax can, it's just a tallow candle. It has a greasy smell in here, but there's that perfume scent as well that seems to mask it well enough. She's got a bed. This is like a typical bed for this, this sort of settlement. Maybe some, woolen sheets over some straw and like a pillow with feathers in it. And she kind of like does her little flirty thing, gives you some little caresses, and wants to speak of the payment for her services.
I'm gonna say, how much would it be to have a bit of a conversation as well as your services?
Well, that would depend. What exactly do you want?
Oh God.
So if you want like an hour with her to do the regular stuff, she will charge you 1 silver piece.
I'll do that. I'll do the regular with her for a silver piece.
All right, so you have an hour with her to enjoy conversation and other delights, but nothing Nothing too weird. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Once I give her the silver piece, and we're starting to like, start up our conversation and be flirtatious and all of that, I am going to sort of like get the question. I'm going to say, so Fair Veron, I am new here. I'm actually part of. Have you heard of Noxiqual, Captain Noxiqual?
No, I haven't. Should I?
Yes, he is a fearless and ferocious pirate captain of the sea.
Ah, he's a pirate. That's fearsome, but I like a man who's dangerous. No, I haven't heard of him. I'm afraid not yet. I'm not from Grenador. I recently moved here from Ravenswold.
Oh, really? All right. Have you heard of any? How long have you been here? Have you heard of any talking of another captain known as Rojas?
Oh yes, yeah, I know Rojas. I'm acquainted with him professionally.
Oh. After I see that she sort of knows him, I'm gonna say, did you happen to give a service to Rohan a while ago?
I'm sorry, my love. It's just business, though. And she scooches even closer to you and starts nibbling on your neck a little bit.
I'll sort of like let it happen a little bit, and I'll actually give her a bit of some caresses as well and some kisses also.
She tries to just get down to business with you.
All right, see, I'm gonna sort of get a little bit away from that. I'm sort of going in a little bit, but also going a little bit away. And as we're talking, I'm gonna say, could you tell me a little bit more about this Captain Rojas? My captain is quite interested in him himself.
Oh, well, he is a bold, daring. Some people don't like him. He has some ideas that people find offensive. Okay, well, you didn't hear this from me. This is just what I've heard. Okay, but he apparently told the Cartographers Guild that the maps that they're making are essentially outdated, and that what they've based it on is some kind of old age that's before the age that we're in now, and that lands have moved or islands have moved, and that their maps are completely inaccurate, and that they're basically just a guild still because their family has controlled it for generations, and that they should be thrown out of business, and that he is going to elect a new Cartographers Guild. I don't know about these things, though.
You don't believe him that the islands have been?
He's the one that sails, not me.
Fair enough. Would you happen to know? And as I see that the conversation is going a little bit, I sort of get a little bit down to business. I sort of caress her a bit more, kiss her a bit more, just sort of get her on the bed a bit. I say, would you happen to know where I could perhaps find him? Is there a time of day he perhaps visits the Lusty Mermaid, or anywhere that he's perhaps staying tonight?
I don't know. I'm
gonna think there for a bit. I'm gonna.
Maybe you should speak to Lady Marmalade about that.
Lady Marmalade, you think that she would know a little bit more about this captain?
Oh yeah, she's the business owner here. She would know him much better.
I see. Well, thank you for that. I will have a conversation with her, but first, and then I'm gonna get on with it.
I would like Robin to make a skill check. You can pick any skill that you want. Pick a skill and make that check.
All right, let's see. Any skill? I would usually do performance, but I'm not very good at that. So I will do persuasion. Oh, whoops. Let me roll that again.
A 1. You're done already?
Okay, that's pretty high. So that's 6. Persuasion is dex, so 6. That is a 25.
That is an incredible persuasion check. So with your persuasive abilities, you are able to extend your hour of delight to actually 2 hours of delight, and you have many wonderful moments where you ride the crest of delight to its apex, not once but twice, maybe 3 times, and when she's done, she says, "Oh, I've never met anyone like you before."
In Elvish, again, I will say, yes, you were quite a delight as well. I haven't met many like you yourself. And I'm gonna give her a wink.
Well, please do come back and see me again some other time.
Of course, and I'm actually with that, I'm going to sort of give her a little bit of extra. I'm going to give her another 2 silver pieces for her time.
All right, so you give her the additional money, and she is incredibly grateful for that. Oh, thank you so much. You're very generous. I want you to come back and see me anytime you're in Grenadoa, okay?
Of course, and perhaps
you promise.
I promise, Farron. And I'm going to say, and perhaps if you learn any more about this captain, perhaps you could tell me more about him.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I will.
Thank you. Well, with that, I think I should go talk to the business owner.
All right, very well. So you walk with a bit of swagger, perhaps, out of the room, and Veron, she stays behind to freshen herself up and whatnot.
For the next customer.
You've paid her. You've paid her quite well, in fact. Making 3 silver pieces in 2 hours is far beyond what a typical common person would make. Just to kind of put things in perspective, let's say you're like a regular worker, like just typical commoner in a medieval type era, and you just like labor all day long. Like you might make a silver piece.
All right. Well, I'm very generous.
When you like toss the gold coin to those guys, it's like, whoa, is this a king or something? All right.
Oh, I didn't realize the 1 gold coin was that much. I'll keep that in mind for next time.
All right. So you're speaking with the Madame, yes?
Yes, the Madam
Lady Marmalade.
Marmalade. Yes.
Okay. So you go to speak with Lady Marmalade, and you're asking her about Captain Rojas.
Captain Rojas, yes.
She says, "Oh, Captain Rojas, he is a little darling. Once you actually get to know him, if you get to know him, he's a very nice man. I think he's a wonderful man. He just has, he's too forward thinking for Grenadoa. This place, it's stuck in the past."
I see. Yes, he was talking, I learned from Varen that he was talking about something about the islands moving and the cartographers have all of the maps wrong.
Oh, yes, it's true. Yeah, that damn Cartographers Guild is basically a hoax. They don't know. They don't go explore. They're just using this same old stuff that their great-grandfathers drew up, and they probably got it from their great-grandfathers. The only reason that they're even still in operation is because they're basically connected with the nobility here, and they're all webbed together and families married together. I wouldn't be surprised if they're all inbred at this point.
Yes. Well, perhaps do you know where I could perhaps find this Captain Rojas? And I'd like to talk to him and perhaps let him meet my captain, Captain Noxiqual.
Well, she looks at you. She gets a little bit talks a little bit quieter, and it's like, that information might have a certain value to it.
I'll get in a little closer.
Captain Rojas is a valuable person, you know.
Get a little closer, and I say, whisper as well. I said, yes, I'm very aware that it may have some cost to it, but my captain very much would like to meet him. So, what would it cost? I'm using you, Noxiqual, since there's rumors about you.
You son of a bitch. Oh, there will be a rumor.
She's a she's pretty ladylike with you and does not make any direct requests for bribing or any such thing.
I'll give her.
She insinuates things.
I'll give her. Let's see how many silver pieces are in a gold piece again?
10. 100? Oh, 10.
I'll give her. Yeah. I'll give her 5 silver pieces.
You give her 5, and she says, "Oh, were you wanting to buy maybe a small cask of wine?"
Oh wow, she wants a lot for this information. Let me think. I'll say, no, I was thinking more of some information about the captain. Then I'll drop 2 gold pieces in her hand.
2 gold pieces?
Mm-hmm.
She looks at your 2 gold pieces and she says, "Okay, well, he'll be around sometime sooner or later, and I will put in a word for you."
Do you know when that time is, Marmalade? I'm gonna get in a little closer.
Maybe. And she like turns around, intention like swishing her big bushy mane of red hair like against your face, and like walks a little saunter away from you.
As she does that, I
but not
like,
too fast.
Yeah.
She is like she's doing it slow enough for you to say what.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of like grab her hand and sort of say,
"Yes, darling."
Perhaps some more, and then I'm going to like sort of like put another 2 gold pieces in her hand.
Are you an adventurer?
As I said, I am but a mere servant of the great Captain Noxiqual. I'm sure you've heard of him, and I'm sure you've heard of his fantastic deeds around the land. And the
okay, you're like a sailor.
Yes, a sailor, an adventurer. Many names have come across me in the past. I've gone across many different things in my travels and met many different people, and some of them have been quite beautiful, such as yourselves.
Oh, well, you're very flattering. I think everybody here liked you a great deal.
I try my best.
I really believe that you do. She gives you a little pinch on your elven ear, and she says, "Why don't I keep this donation, and you have your captain come and speak with me, and we can probably arrange something that's going to be more fitting for someone of Captain Rojas's disposition."
Yes. Do you think that perhaps we could arrange something with me? I tend to speak for Captain Noxiqual when he's away.
Hang on.
Make a deception check.
Okay.
He's probably walking. Lykar, my ears are burning.
I need to. I need to not roll on that one. Oh, this is good. Okay, this is a
2.
Right, this is deception. You said that's 12 plus 3 plus 3. It's plus 11. Wait. Oh, deception's not dex. Deception's charisma. So less. That is 9. 21.
Excellent. So she believes you. She thinks that you are newly attained of this position as a first mate or some sort of emissary of the Storm's Eye. She wants a higher amount of payment. However, she is now regarding you as like a high status in Noxiqual's crew.
As I am.
That's what she's
Esper,
thinking.
As I am.
I'm just saying what she
in your own mind
is thinking.
All right, that's good. I'm gonna say perhaps 5 gold pieces, and I'm going to give her 5 more gold pieces.
All right, so you've essentially given her about 10 gold at this point, and she says, "Okay, well, maybe you've bested a goblin recently with this hoard that you've collected."
Oh, I've bested much more than a goblin, and I'm sure that
the gold coins don't seem to show that. Why don't you come back in 3 days' time? We'll be in Grenadoa at that time, and I will do my very best to get an audience between you and him. So 3 days from now, come here. Just come after nightfall.
Very well. Thank you so much, madam. And I'm going to take her hand and kiss her hand, and then look up at her and say in Elvish, "I will be back, mademoiselle."
Madam Marmalade.
Yes, Madam Marmalade.
Okay, get out of here, you big charmer, you.
As I leave, I put my hood on and I sort of put my hand up. And then is Varen in the room as well?
She's coming down the stairs. Goodbye, my love.
I sort of kiss my hand and blow a kiss back at her and give her a nice wink and say, "I will be back, Varen," and then continue back.
As you're stepping out, Helga the Bosomy, whose name very much lives up to its quite lives up. Yeah, she has a veritable pair of pumpkins underneath that gown of hers, and she's like, "Next time you need to come and see me. I'll show you real good time."
Who is more beautiful, Varen or her?
Well, it kind of depends on your personal tastes.
True,
yes?
true.
Yeah,
all women.
They're both comely in their own ways. Veron is a fair girl, sandy blonde, light skin, blue eyed, has a cute look to her, playful, even a bit demure. Whereas Helga, one of the Helgas, the bosomy one,
the bosom Helga, not the fishy one.
Of epic proportions.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'll look at her and say, perhaps.
I'm not describing her face because it's probably hard for you to remember what it looked like. You probably didn't get a good look at it.
Yeah, I'll say, perhaps Helga, and then continue out. But I say that kind of a little fast.
Well, she insists that you don't know what you're missing out.
I say, "I'm very much aware, Helga. Varen has told me much." And then
well, that bitch.
Oh, yeah. I've started something, or perhaps something has already been here in the beginning. But I'll walk out, and I'd like to go find Noxiqual and Lykar.
Well, all that.
Right, so let's cut.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's cut to Noxiqual and Lykar. So this is going to be you two
in the town,
going about the market district, or wherever you'd like to go.
Yeah, I'm sure that like what I was doing is probably happening like at the same time as what they're doing. So
we can definitely make this representative of the last couple hours.
Yeah.
All right. So Noxiqual and Lykar are strutting about the streets of Grenadoa. There's closely packed buildings, anywhere from 1, 2, 3, even a couple 4 stories high buildings. This typical architecture that you'll find in Dreckengrim with like heavy timbers, and a lot of the roofs are thatched. Here and there you'll find some slate rooftops. The town is not as bustling as it once was, but it's still a relatively busy settlement. There's certainly people in the streets, and carts and horses and mules, and the kind of ever-present chatter about. You'll see guardsmen here and there patrolling in groups of 2s and 3s, and they're outfitted well enough, I suppose, with some light chain and a shield and spear and like a helmet with maybe a few dings in it planted on their head. Well, what's catching your interest, you gentlemen?
Well, Lykar, would you like to say what your plan kind of is?
Well, I didn't know if we knew the town well enough out of character. We could...
Out of character, I'm going to tell you this. Noxiqual knows the town quite well. In character, Noxiqual has not revealed that. So Noxiqual would probably
Noxiqual is quite familiar. He's quite familiar with Grenadoa.
Yeah. He actually might even be looking over his shoulder every now and then. He's just checking to see if he knows someone, or maybe sees a familiar face. But he's not like ducking in every alleyway or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd be looking at it like, what are you doing?
Just thought I saw someone that I knew once, but it wasn't them. Lykar, tell me, your family, have you ever come this far south, or was it always up north towards the Citadel?
We generally stayed out of the more populated areas, as we are not very well liked. But it has been a long time since I have been in a town of even this size, so I doubt anybody would even recognize me now.
Aye. It's been many years, too, that I've walked these streets like now. I think we should head back to the ship after we make a quick tour of the town, see if there's anything new. There's going to be
Lykar, do
much
you use any kind
preparation
of hood or maybe even a disguise? Is that important to you?
I think that these people would be really hard, unless they were up around the area. My guy really lived on the outskirts of society a lot when he was young, so but he's trying to just be himself now and be accepted for who he is and not what his grandfather was.
Okay. All right. So you don't make any particular effort to conceal yourself. You're probably dressed warmly, though, as it's pretty cold. It's early winter here in Drakengrim, so it's very chilly. All right. So you two are walking the streets. Do you have a specific destination or goal?
Well, I was just going to see if there was any, maybe like a magic shop or any kind of tavern or anything that we could go in and get some good information, or maybe even who runs the city, some kind of government officials.
I like all that. I would say in priority order, we'll save the tavern for last because I feel like we can get a drink, get some information, head back to the ship. So let's look for a magic shop, get that information, what the local news and who rules, what noble families are in power, that sort of deal.
Okay, so the government here is connected with Sumnerfield. So there's a local lord named Lord Thelmo III, and he is then beholden to the lords of Sumnerfield. There's also a council, so it's sort of a counciled monarchy. There's a town council here. It has 4 councilors on it, each one representing one of the 4 major guilds: the Shipwrights Guild, the Merchants Guild, the Masons Guild, and the Cartographers Guild. There's a wharf master. There's a guard captain. Religion is an interesting thing in Drakengrim nowadays, as the worship of gods has largely fallen by the wayside. And what is most prominent is either going to be the worship of the great old ones, or there's been a reemergence of what's called the old faith, which is going to be, spirits and casting bones and runes and druidry and seers and oracles and these sorts of things. Kind of an animism to an extent.
Any interesting news about that prophet, the wandering... Give me a second, I'll tell you the name. It was...
Fainel Donnan. There is some news about her. Apparently, she is currently in Ravenswold. This is also where Veron said she was from. I'll put the map up here so you guys can get a...
Never actually met her, yeah.
Ravenswold.
You know who you should meet? Madame Marmalade.
She'll treat you right. She'll treat you right. All right. So apparently, Fainel Donnan is just arrived in Ravenswold. People said that she passed through Grenadoa, passed through Fleecefoten, and is now in Ravenswold. And apparently, she'll be there for a little while. This is like it's a smaller town, a bit out of the way. It's kind of on the edge of the civilized area of Dreckengrim.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the edge where the Cairn coast meets the Winnowing kind of Badlands area. Gitsgrond down there.
Okay. I mean, I remember way back in the day that was the original goal to find and meet her because she might know something about a certain dark rider and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. If you would like to kind of explore this topic, ask around a bit, you can certainly do so. You'd need to make some kind of charisma type check and let me know where you're asking around at.
Oh no, our charisma-based characters need to make a charisma check.
The two classes that have the highest charisma scores need to make charisma checks.
You want to attempt your check and I'll attempt my check, Lykar?
Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm just going to use my flat charisma because that's what my persuasion is.
That's my character sheet.
Didn't do too well. I only got an 8.
Mm-hmm. And you're asking around where?
I feel like who would know about this? Let's see.
So who are you asking about again? The prophet?
There is a prophetess, also known as a heretic. Her name is Fainel Donnan. Some people also say she's a miracle worker.
I mean, just kind of mentioning, maybe to like some of the patrol, maybe like some of the sentries or the guards that would be walking around, because I think they would know about her. And I got a 21 total.
Okay. You two are together?
Yes.
At the time?
Yes.
Okay. So Noxiqual, he doesn't have success. In fact, the guardsmen that you ask, they give you a flippant reaction. They say,
"That heretic! Don't talk to me about her. Hopefully she died out on the road. Wolves should be eating her entrails by now."
So that wasn't very helpful, and maybe you shouldn't be surprised. Some people do accuse her of heresy. Yeah. And that's a pretty extreme thing for Dreckengrim. That means she is against great old ones, gods, primal spirits, and like the old faith. It's kind of against everything. So that's pretty radical sounding.
Which one does the masked one fall under those categories? None of them?
I guess none of the above.
Excellent. I'm fine with her.
I guess he falls under the category of mysterious entity.
So I know. Shadow Steel.
Lykar, a bit later on, you decide, hey, let's continue pursuing this, right? And so you ask another group of guardsmen making their round, a different group, right? At a bit of risk of ruffling the feathers of the town guard. But this time you get a much better reaction. Your words seem to impact the person positively, effectively. So there's 3 guardsmen. And the one that's speaking up is a lanky fellow, kind of tall, a bit, sinewy, wiry, I guess is more the word I'm looking for. He's a bit shivering. Oh, God, it's cold out here. Oh, yes, Fainel Donnan. She traveled through not even a week ago. 6 days ago. Headed westward to Ravenswold, she did.
And what was she going on about at this time? I kind of, played nonchalantly. Just that more like curiosity kind of thing.
Well, some people say that she is a mad woman, but I don't know. Some things she say do make sense to me. I haven't gone to the temple. I can't remember how long now. The priests seem to have no answers for us. The noble lords, they're trying their best to fight off whatever threat is coming from the north and surrounds us. The mists and all. But I don't think they have a clue as much as you or I do what's happening in this realm. Fainel, I think she might be onto something. She speaks of, well, a great potential that's inside of all of us. Not of gods and titans, but of the common folk. A gust of wind whips.
Strange notions indeed.
One of the other guards is like, okay, well, come on. What's the holdup? Well, just a moment. I can't speak for long, but if you go westward, I think you're going to find her. She just passed through here. Yeah, less than a week ago.
Very interesting. Thank you for your time, good sir.
He looks one way, looks the other. He says to you quietly, if you go to Ravenswold, be careful. They've got a cult of that dark feathered one there.
Dark feathered one.
Dark feathered one. Oh.
Is that one of the old ones?
No. The Raven Queen.
Oh, her.
Interesting.
Thank you for the warning.
Thank you.
Spooky bunch, that one.
Yes. Yeah. Very odd. Wow. Okay.
Good luck to you, adventurers.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Lykar.
And as he leaves, he gives like a cheer to the Stormbringers.
I give him like a nod of appreciation. So Lykar, just a quick conference of our minds. That seems interesting. It'll take a couple days to get there, but we could leave the ship in port here to wait for that other captain, because who knows when he'll be back. And maybe I can trust Kobe the Lion to meet with him and do some figure out if we can work in tandem. Maybe through the mist thing sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. We'll have to see what we can find out about this other captain yet.
And here's my thought too. This is not just some random, let's run off and do something because we have attention problems of focusing on problems. We have no idea where the ship went down. The ship of... Sorry,
the Siren's Kiss.
The Siren's Kiss.
The ship that Drake was aboard.
Yes. We don't know. It's a big ocean. We have an area to search. But wouldn't a prophet be able to narrow that down, perhaps?
I'm sorry, could you guys give me a quick rundown of the Siren's Kiss? What was this?
So, Vince's character, Drake Fell, is not... Yeah, go for it.
All right, so Drake Fell, he's not from Drakenfrit. He's from out there, and he had to come in. And he came on the Siren's Kiss, and it was coming through the fog, and something happened. Either a storm or a creature attacked and literally sank the ship.
Oh, God.
And Drake was saved by the masked one.
Noxiqual's Warlock patron.
Oh, okay.
With a deal that he had to go back with Noxiqual's help. Noxiqual has to help Drake, which was part of the deal, and retrieve an item from the wreck that the masked one wants. So that's the deal.
But the wreck is in the mist, which
it's
is
in the ocean. We don't know
area.
exactly where. We were coming through the mist. It was stormy. No one knows exactly where it was.
Would it be would it be assumed that Robin would know about this, or?
I don't think he would, because it was coming in and wasn't going out. So.
Never landed.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry.
A lot of
Continue.
people.
I could be wrong, but it's really Esper's call.
Robin, make a history check.
A history check?
Uh-huh.
I think that's intelligence, right?
Oh, this is when we find out that you're from the past, like you're now in the future, like 100 years later.
That's not amazing. Where's my history at? Oh, that is intelligence. Okay, that is just straight up intelligence for me. 11. Not really that great. Hello?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. I think Esper froze.
Oh, Esper froze.
Esper's lagging.
Yeah, give him a minute to see if it'll unfreeze.
I missed that. There was a big lag there.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
No.
Nice try.
Nice try, man. There's 3 different viewing parties. I ran into you lied.
It's an 11.
11. Okay. So all you know is there's some place called Bazagon. It's not here.
Oh yeah,
that's all you got.
I quite remember Bazagon. But sorry, continue with Lykar. No, I was just curious.
So Lykar and Noxiqual. What do you do next?
So I think this prophet, if we can convince her to help us, and if she has the powers, which seem to be she does, she might be able to get us an exact location. If we can convince her to use her powers on our behalf.
Could be.
Be better than searching the whole ocean floor.
Yeah, that would be very time consuming.
I was trying to come up with a way to figure out how to find a ship that went down.
Mm-hmm.
I think magic would be more ideal. Let's go back to the ship, but first let's get a drink at the nearest tavern. I think we've earned it.
Sure, drink sounds very good.
I'm thinking like a spiced rum or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A nice warm toddy.
Yes, I was thinking that. Like a hot drink when it's cold out, you know?
So, you know of a tavern that'll hit the spot, Noxiqual. It's a place called Hoppers, and it's
nice, I hope.
It is what it is. It's a place where people go to get food and beverage and, feed their bodies and their spirits. On this cold, early winter's night, the place is half full. So you walk in through a front door, has a big wooden sign on the front, painted in like big blue letters, Hoppers, and there is there is a little painted image of a fisherman, but instead of catching a fish, he's catching a frog. And you enter inside. It's a mid-sized tavern, has a ground floor level and has an upper floor level that has like a bit of an overlooking railing up there. Several tables, half of them are occupied. It's a bit noisy, but it's not roaring or raucous. There are some performers on the stage, and they're playing their instruments and they're singing, and it's a bit bawdy. They like to have they like to spice up their lyrics quite a bit. The service here is actually pretty good. Noxiqual, tells you of these drinks you spoke of. There's some mulled wine and such, and you all are, drinking that and enjoying yourselves. There is a group of sailors at a table. They look like, working fellows. Yeah, they have calloused hands and kind of not the best of shaving practices. Maybe missing a tooth here or there from a brawl at some point in the not too distant past.
Look there, that's them Stormbringers. Hey, Stormbringers, what brings you into to Grenadoa?
To sell goods, make a profit, and get a drink in the town that's got, I hear, the best drinks around.
Oh, yeah, you're in the place for that. Can I buy you around and maybe hear a tale or two? You must have seen some things.
I think I would be in for that. What about you, Lykar?
Yes, a tale would be good, but maybe you have any news for us. We have been away for some time. We hear a ship has been sailing, and it has found its ways to the east. I guess it's going east, since we're on the east coast.
If we get the information here with no effort.
You speak of the Levin Gouger. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Let us put our tables together. Come.
Yeah.
Hey, serving boy.
So he orders up some more drinks.
Pull the chairs
and
up.
you all get to talking. Yeah. And so there's this one fellow who's kind of the more social, outgoing one, and he's got 3 companions with him. They're all sailors. They're not of rank. They're crewmen, right? And they're they work out of Grenadoa. They're obviously not on a voyage at this exact evening. So yeah, you're speaking with them. Ah, yes, Levin Gouger, Captain Rojas, that old rooster.
Have any of you
I don't know
sailed
him
with
personally. Don't get any ideas. I wish I would have. I heard that he pays better than any.
None of you have sailed with him then.
He is very selective, very, very selective. And I don't even know if I would want to sail with him. I might get myself killed the places he's going to.
High risk, high reward.
I heard if you go through that mist, you will be beset by great flying creatures like manta rays that come down swooping gray shadows through the fog and steal in away off of deck to their dooms. I don't want that. I've got a wife or two.
Have you heard any tales? Oh, go ahead. You go first.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm sure there's a reason why his men are so eager to go on these voyages and sail on his ship.
You don't got to piss in my stew. Can you think of the profit of bringing in goods from out of Dreckengrim? You know, like anywhere that's not a cursed shithole?
Like, my eyes kind of light up a little bit at that thought, like, profit, eh?
I heard a different guy's like, I heard that he's going to go down to Bazagon. Ah, well, we've all heard that, haven't we?
Have you guys spoken to anybody who has sailed on his crew? I'm just very curious, as it has been a very long time since we've had any news from outside of Dreckengrim.
Okay. On the table. Here we go. Natural one. No. I guess we're not good enough for them. I don't even know where they frequent. I haven't seen them here. They have to go somewhere. Or maybe they just stay on board their ship and drink and celebrate and bring their friends on board there. I don't know. I certainly haven't seen that. I've seen their ship in port, and it doesn't look like they're feasting and partying aboard. They must go somewhere.
Very well.
I'm sure we'll cross paths at some point.
There is an interesting detail, though, about his ship.
Oh, do tell.
Well, the figurehead is a fierce unicorn. Its great spiraling spike jutting straight ahead. Just past that, safely mounted on board, is a beacon of white flame. And it never goes out. I've seen it at night. We've all seen it at night at the port. It glows like the full moon.
Similar to the white flame of the lighthouse?
We both made the connection.
Exactly the same as the lighthouse. Well, not as big as the lighthouse, but it's the same looking flame.
Oh, that's very interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have earned a tale. Oh, we'll spin a tale of maybe the time we went to the Ambrosia Temple or something and dealt with Lord Eck.
The heist. Oh man, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Stealing the water right from under his nose.
Yeah.
But I drink mead from Horncombe Lodge. Come on, don't ruin it for me.
We embellish it.
I don't want to know who's getting exploited and abused to make my favorite mead.
Actually, I think we change the names a little bit and probably make it seem more like a story. But like we keep the bones and then add a lot of like other stuff onto it to make it entertaining.
Yeah, give a good story for the good information.
All right, so what I get from that is every time Lykar is about ready to like literally name drop Noxiqual, like jabs him like and then Lord Elka Winterheart.
Yep. Oh man.
Well, the fellow that you're speaking with, he seems to deduce who it is that you're talking about. Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to rat you out.
Well, Sometimes a story is just a story, and other times a story can be a seed of truth in it. For those who know where to look.
Ah, I've been known to embellish a time or two. Just ask my 3 wives.
I did.
What do you mean by that, you scum?
I mean, let's get another round of drinks.
Okay, but you're buying this time.
Of course.
All right, so this there's some interesting things afoot. Maybe you care to talk to these guys more or not. What do you think?
I'm fine with fast forward. Like I feel like
just
it's a
general
good time.
conversation, and whatever comes out comes out. And
Okay, so we can kind of like fade that as it is. You guys
Fade the
enjoy your
scene.
time there for a while.
we got some interesting things.
I enjoyed that scene.
Drake, you've been having
Spend a lot of time with your falcon.
yeah, you've been having a
Petting his falcon, is that what they call it these days?
Like,
Yes.
he's just like sitting on like the ship, like looking out, like petting the falcon.
you've been having some time to reflect, to meditate, to train. You're a monk after all, so that's pretty fitting. Is there anything in particular that is on your mind, or are we just going to leave it at that?
Drake is wondering. Hold on, I literally just had it. Drake is wondering about I can't remember. It's the two main gods that he's against.
The gods that Drake is against?
Or no, his Dionysus is kind of like in a semi-war with the other god. I can't remember his name.
Okay, Dionysus has a rival called Talos.
Yeah, Talos. He's wondering
there's a history between these two gods, and well, there might be a different perspective on them, a different take on them, depending upon where you come from.
He's
specifically you from Basagon versus the perspective of someone from Naperna. There could be a different perspective on this matter, but the I guess the simplest way to put it is these are both gods of like storm and battle. And so they have like butted heads. They're both wild warrior type gods. Cord is the name, is what he's called in Naperna, which means fury. And outside of Naperna, he's not called Cord, he's called Dionysus. Atalos, well, Lykar had a little insight about Atalos. Yeah. Apparently Telvantis, the Storm Titan who spawned Lykar's whole bloodline to begin with, who like infused them with the sorceress storm power. Apparently Telvantis is the father of Atalos. So Atalos is like the son of a mortal woman and a Storm Titan, and he rose up and became a god, or at least what serves as gods in this world. Atalos is in Naperna. In this world, all the gods are dead and their corpses are in the world. They're actually present in the world. However, a dead god still will have an essence that lingers on. You can't really kill them. Well, you probably can't kill them. Maybe there's some way, but you probably can't. And they have like this spirit realm, and so they still bear influence. At least that is the main theory. That's like the assumption that everyone operates from. And certainly clerics and stuff exist, so there has to be something happening. The parties even met a god. Lykar met Morpheus, the god of dreams, there at the Ambrosia Temple.
I didn't mean no god.
Yeah, you stayed out of there. Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
So is that helpful for you?
Yeah, so he's kind of reflecting on that rivalry a bit, wondering if that's part of the reason why.
Talos is more vicious. His followers usually are like reavers and pirates and berserkers. And then Dionysus, the berserkers kind of like where they share, and then he's more like gladiators and hunters and athletes.
Okay. He's kind of wondering if Atalos is part of the reason that the main temple that he comes from is showing signs of the corruption. He's reflecting on, wondering if that's the reason why they're starting to move away from the teachings of Dionysus. Or at least the core tenets.
Well, why don't you make a history check?
Okay.
Some deep thoughts going on while you're petting your falcon.
Just like
Some heavy petting.
Okay.
I'm
9.
remembering
I have a
something.
-1 in history.
I might not
okay.
be remembering something.
So that probably represents the extent of what you know. Surely there's more to uncover. There always is, but those basics are about what you know. There's Dionysus and Bazagon, but he also has some connection with this Naperna, the northernmost realm. And then there's Atalos, which is also from Naperna, who straight up is from Naperna. And they're these rival gods that have fought each other for centuries.
Okay. So he doesn't know any. He can't figure out anything more than the basics. So.
Well, what are you willing to do?
Look into your falcon's eyes. Has all the answers.
I think at this point Drake has probably centered himself enough. He's going to head in town and start looking for possibly a monastery of some sorts, or possibly a library.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's you want to do this now at night?
Oh, is it night now?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to look for the monastery then, if it's night, because he knows most monasteries welcome people in at night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You disembark the ship. You walk down the creaking planks of the piers. There onto the quay. You pass by some guards that are keeping watch over the wharf. There are some guys like drinking and being kind of bawdy and loud. There's a guy pissing off the side of a dock. You go up the stairs. You pass by a number of structures. You look. There is a small wharf shrine, but it does not appear to be a temple, not a grand site, a small shrine nestled between a couple of other structures. Does that catch your eye, or do you want to go inside, past, through the gate beyond the city walls beyond the town walls into the town itself?
Drake's going to keep going in a little bit more, but he's going to keep note of that shrine.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't find anything further in, he's going to come back to it.
Okay. You pass by. There's some guardsmen. They kind of just give you some suspicious looks, but don't say anything. You enter into Grenadoa. You're walking the city streets. There's not a ton of streets here. It's not a huge settlement, and everything's real densely packed together. So you wander for a bit, and eventually you do come upon a temple. The temple is set up on a high area. So most of Grenadoa is low. There's only two areas that raise up. There's one that's the actual keep, the castle. It's raised up on a motte, as is typical of castles. It's a defensible structure that way. And the other is a hill. You don't know if this is a natural hill or if it's a constructed thing. But atop this hill, you see a temple. And the temple itself is in a little bit of a different architecture than what you're used to. It still does have the columned architecture that you would have known from your own homeland. But other than that, the stylizations are quite different. They have a lot of crossing bars of such. There are carven knotwork and other creatures that are of northern stylization that is, to you, seems exotic or at least different. When you're approaching the temple, you see that the doors are shut, and there is some sort of groundskeeper. In the shadowy dark, at first you almost think there's a bear, and maybe you are surprised by that. But then you realize it's not a bear; it's just a really big guy wearing thick, heavy fur clothing. And he is, well, let's see, what would you have? I guess maybe an equivalent of a rake, maybe not quite like a rake as we know it in the modern day, but he's sweeping up the grounds of the temple here. He's clearing it out. of any amount of debris and dead leaves and fallen branches and litter that might have blown in here. It's pretty cold too. Or does the cold bother you?
No, the cold's not bothering Drake.
Doesn't bother you? Okay. So he stops what he's doing and he sees you and he's like,
Temple's closed.
This one only wishes to speak with someone if possible for a short time. From within the temple. Would any be awake?
We have divine right at end of week. Come back.
This one seeks answers for Dionysus. What temple is this then?
Here have Dionysus. Here have Sortiza. Here have Ilus.
Now that you're closer and you're interacting with this guy, you see that his skin has a slight grayish coloration to it, and he has some small tusks coming out of his lower jaw. A real burly, stocky thing, wiry chest hair bulging out from between the furry clothes that he's wearing. He is a half.
I was about to ask.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, would Drake know if he's a half orc or not? Because that sounds like it. Okay. All right, so it sounds
he's like, the temple's closed. Get out of here. We'll have the, like a divine rite, sacrifice to the gods at the end of the week. I guess I should name the days of the week in this world. So the equivalent of like a Sunday. Yeah.
okay.
Well, I guess that'd be the first day of the week. So we'll go, come back the first day.
Okay. Drake will pretty much acknowledge that and then head back to the shrine that he saw because he's not going to push and trying to get in.
Mm-hmm. Sure. You respect the
traditions and the rites.
Yeah, the schedule that they're maintaining there. Okay, so today is the second day of the week. You have to wait 6 days.
All right. Drake is gonna head for that shrine, but instead of walking the streets, he's gonna shadow step up onto the roofs and just walk along there.
Interesting.
He's starting to feel a little closed in from them all being tight packed.
So you use your first shadow step and get yourself up on top of a building. A lot of the roofs here are this thatching that's on top of wooden beams. Pretty typical, especially for this area of the world. So up above a lot of the rooftops, you have a much different view of everything. You look in the sky, and there's a nearly full moon and just a few clouds, dark clouds passing over it, and you see like the moonlight beaming over the town and past the town walls and over the ocean, and you can even see like the waves rolling in and the moonlight glistening upon these dark waves at night. And there you can hear the wind whipping, and there's just this feeling of solitude that encompasses this space.
All right, Drake's gonna just slowly move along the rooftops towards the shrine.
Are you taking like precaution to be unseen? Are you moving about in a lurking way, or you don't care? You're just like
he's trying not to make noise, but at the same time he doesn't want to look like he's lurking. Does that make sense? Like, so he's being careful where he steps, but not like trying to hide specifically.
Okay, so you use your shadow monk capability and slip between the shadows, and you go from like these beam to beam in the sturdy sections of the rooftops, keeping a conscious look about where you're going, and eventually you end up back in the wharf at the front of this temple, rather shrine. It's a small shrine. There are just 4 columns at the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a few steps leading up to it. It's pretty much open air. It has this like cross. What do we call these? They're not beams. It's made of stone. So we'll just say crossed blocks, rectangular blocks.
An arch.
Sort
like
of an
a lentil?
arch. More. Say that again.
Like a lentil that supports weight.
Okay, we'll go with lintel. An angled peak. It's nestled in between two other structures that just look like industrial or maybe wharfside shops or something. You get a smell of old smoke as you're standing in front of this temple. Inside, you see two people. There is a man and a woman, and they are standing in front of a lit candle. So it's a small shrine chamber. It's a bit dark in there. You see a effigy, a stony statue of a goddess with hair that flows all the way down to her feet and even like comes out in some tendrils as though the wind is whipping through it. And you also see that at her feet, the stone or the marble is carved to look like waves. One hand she's holding out like this in front of her long tresses of hair, and her other hand she is holding something, some kind of implement in it. It's a bit difficult to see from where you're standing.
Does Drake get any uneasy feeling from this temple or the shrine? Like just looking at it, does he feel uneasy, or because he is going to be entering a shrine to another god, so he doesn't. I'm not sure if he would feel uneasy or not about that.
Okay, well, part of that you can just decide on your own based upon your character and what he's observed, and who he is, his own characteristics, his own beliefs, and his own sensibilities and whatnot. And then on my side of things, you can roll an insight check if you want to get like a read, an intuitive read on these people and what's happening in front of you.
Could I do that insight just to see if Drake could recognize the shrine? To see if he knows what shrine who the goddess is?
Oh, okay. In that case, make a religion check.
Okay.
It'd be an intelligence religion, like a knowledge, basically.
Oh, jeez. I am not doing good tonight. 10. 10?
Okay. Actually, that's fine. Because this goddess exists where you're from, so it'd be an easy DC to identify her.
Okay.
And 10 is easy. You identify her as Sortiza the Weaver. She is a goddess of the ocean and of fate.
And what would her relationship to Dionysus?
She would exist in a pantheon with Dionysus. You think of their relationship as neutral to somewhat friendly. They're certainly not enemies.
Okay, so then Drake would have no problem entering the shrine.
Okay.
Like if Dionysus wasn't on a good terms, he would start having issues entering the shrine just because he wouldn't be sure how welcome he would be in it. So he's gonna walk in. He's gonna look at the two people there, see how they're acting, and kind of mimic theirs as a sign of respect to the shrine and the goddess.
Okay. All right. So you've entered inside small shrine. It's maybe 50 feet by 70 feet. It's just this one room is all that it is. So you walk up the steps, you go between the pillars, and you're in this dusken chamber with a high ceiling. There's effigy of a goddess on a dais, and you see it's actually a man and a woman, and they have lit a candle, and they are they're making utterances of prayer to this goddess. They're in front of the candle. They have their hands raised up like this. You see they have blood on their hands. And the thing that is the statue is holding is a heart, and there's blood that's like dripping, like running down the hand.
Can Drake see any other body? Possibly.
You don't see any body. You only notice these two.
Okay. Can Drake tell what type of heart's in the hand?
Oh, great lady face. They're kind of mumbling out these prayers. You hear the desperation in their voices.
Well, no, the heart that the statue has in its hand. You said it was bleeding. Could Drake tell what type of heart it is?
Make a nature check.
Okay. 3.
You're not sure.
You were not
I'm
on your
not.
roll today.
I am not doing good.
I believe
Intelligence is not one of my good stats.
the masked one believes in you. Accept him into your heart. And he
Except the masked one's
Okay.
great. He will guide you.
Drake's then just gonna stand back and watch them for a bit. He's not gonna.
Are you being quiet with your movement so that they don't notice you?
Yes.
Okay, and they're fairly well. Entranced is not quite the right word. It's just more like fervent. They might be crying. There's a lot of desperation to their voices as they're uttering out the prayers to Sortiza. They're asking her for good fortune, for guidance, to help see them through this darkest of hours. So it sounds like you're just lurking in the shadows, observing and listening.
Observing, because they're in prayer. He's not going to interrupt them.
Mm-hmm.
And from what it sounds like, they're not anyone who works at the temple. They're more coming to pray at the temple.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they're not the ones he really wants to talk to. I think Drake at this point will. Can you see any doors leading to side chambers or anything like that?
You don't notice any side chambers.
Okay, so
it truly seems to be a small shrine.
Okay.
As you are listening, you pick up that they are praying. Their prayer has something to do with the Mer Queen and the curse that is upon Dreckengrim. But it's not generalized. It is in a way. They're like, they want the Mer Queen to be dealt with, defeated, deposed, the curse lifted in any sort of way. Yes, but there's something specific to what they're taught. They seem to have been affected in some specific way. And they keep saying like they have made this greatest of sacrifices to gain the favor of the goddess Sortiza.
Ooh, I'm actually not liking that. Drake's not liking that sound of that. He's going to get out of there. That greatest of sacrifices. Because if what I think it is, Drake's not going to want to be around that. So he's going to back out of the shrine. Okay,
so you slip out, and it's as if you were nothing more than a shadow. They didn't even notice that you were there.
He's going to find an inn, or not an inn, a tavern, real quick.
Mm-hmm. Would everyone like everyone to be convened at the same tavern, or do you guys want to be separate?
Are we all meeting at the Lusty Mermaid?
No.
No.
Well, it could easily be Hoppers.
Yeah, I
vote for Hoppers.
I think Hoppers is fine because I was leaving anyway to go meet with them at the end of my thing. So
I think
perfect
Hoppers would be perfect.
Right, so Drake's gonna he's gonna find a guard, ask for what's the best tavern in town, and I guess would be directed to Hoppers.
Okay, excellent. So we'll just cut right to that. All four of you are now convened together at Hoppers. Lykar and Noxiqual, they've got a couple empty cups already in front of them, maybe some plates with just crumbs left on it. There are 4 sailors that are with them, including one guy that's a boisterous man. Everyone's talking pretty loud. There's a few more patrons now there, and the volume's kind of gone up. The performers they've even been getting half drunk as well now. And you walk in, and this guy's, like telling this story. And that's when I said, I can father half seals.
Drake's just gonna grab a chair, slide it over by Noxiqual, and sit down.
You look too glum, fellow. Here, take a nice good quaff of this broth.
And he puts into your hand something is it an ale? You're not quite sure what it is.
I'm gonna walk over to Drake. I'm gonna say, you should drink that up right now. I think it could do you some good. I'm gonna slap you on the back.
Drake's gonna look up and just.
Oh, throw it.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
Can I try and
What? Don't waste that! Oh! What the hells?
Drake, you buy the next round since you spilled a drink.
This one shall. Pulls out the gold, sets it on the
That's
table.
dinner!
dinner and a round? I want both. I'm quite hungry after my
This
my
one is
time
on his
in the
own.
mermaid.
He's pointing at Robin. This one must buy his own stuff. He doesn't know you. You haven't earned any honor and respect in his eyes.
Fair.
It's
I'm
funny,
gonna
wait a
pull up a
second.
chair on the
Are you
table.
wearing the boots, Drake?
No, Drake's not wearing the boots. That's the thing. They're technically out of sight.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I'll pull
He
up a
actually wants to. Who has the other bag of holding? Okay, he's gonna want to talk to you, Lykar, down the line. He's got something he wants to do.
He doesn't want to talk to me.
Well, he at least wants that bag of holding to borrow for a second.
Well, I bet he does. I'll stick him in the bag of holding.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. Pull up a chair, have a drink. We have things to discuss.
Yes, I would love to talk about my my experiences tonight. It was fantastic.
Please spare us the body details. We don't need to know about your 5 minutes of fame.
Oh, 5 minutes. Oh, it was much longer than 5 minutes. Let me
This
tell
one
you.
Okay,
does not
15
believe
minutes. Whatever, I'm not a man to judge. You keep that business to yourself.
The one NPC who's been loud here, who's been the one that's the most talkative here at Hoppers, his name is Gior, by the way. Gior catches a whiff off of Robin.
Ah, I know where you've been. Yeah, I know where you've been.
I'm gonna raise the mug of ale and drink some and say,
You must have worked up an appetite.
Quite, my friend, quite.
Ah, swig that down and we'll get another.
Yes, wenching is hard work.
No, right?
Is Robin drinking the frothy stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna drink a little bit, not too much.
All right, so you sample it.
Yeah.
It's the thickest, darkest ale you have ever encountered in your life. It's like a porridge.
Oh God! After I sample a little bit, I'm gonna put it back down.
And now make it.
Why, you
drunk.
don't like it? I was raised on that, I was.
I'm gonna say, oh no, it's quite nice, but I drank a decent amount at the Lusty Mermaid, so I'm have more of an appetite at the moment, less of a drink.
He's more of a light beer guy.
Hey, serving boy. Here now, here.
All right, so shortly after some more platters of food are laid out, they have like this dark rye type bread and like a big hunk of butter, and they've got all kinds of fish, lots of fish. There's like some salted pig's feet. There's some plate of some kind of like boiled vegetables, like turnips and onions and spices all together, and a nice plate of what's a fruit that would be common here? Ooh, baked apples with cinnamon.
I will take the baked apples with cinnamon.
Yeah, Drake's gonna go for
So there's all that, and if you want, you can get just some wine, something that's not like drinking bitter oatmeal.
I'll get a little bit of wine, and I'll take some of the baked apples.
I make a hand gesture and like a baked apple floats to me, magically.
Ah, I've heard of that. You're the wizard of the group.
Hardly, I'm no wizard.
You're the wizard. He points at Lykar.
I point. It's not Harley. It's
Robin.
Robin. I point to that's him.
Yes, I actually am the wizard, and I'm gonna use my mage hand to bring the apple to myself as well.
So the two of you are levitating food items to yourselves for yourselves to enjoy. You see a couple of the people at tables next to you. Their like jaws like drop open and their eyes like bugging out. A couple of them even like back up, like they think it's dangerous or something. One guy like puts his hand onto like a knife or something that he's got at his belt. Like he doesn't know what's going to happen.
As the mage
catch him with my eye. Go ahead.
So, yeah, as I get to the apple in my mouth and I'm eating it while it's floating in the air, I'm gonna look and I'm gonna say, "Have you never with the food in my mouth? Have you never seen a wizard before?"
No. I don't expect me to pay you or anything, but do some more.
I'm gonna swallow. I'm gonna say, well, first off, we're harmless, but watch this. I'm gonna take another apple with the mage hand and sort of like make it float and levitate over to him.
So he opens his mouth and is like trying to like bob for apples in midair.
I'm gonna make it a little difficult for him, like make him work for it.
All right, so you kind of taunt him, and then finally he's fed up, but then he like snatches the apple out of the air and takes a big bite. No, that's incredible.
Thank you.
The singer has noticed this. The singer on the stage who's with this group of minstrels, and he starts up a new song. And the first word of the opening line is magic. Like the first line is like magic, magic. I saw it when I was a kid. I encountered this wonderful thing, and it's my life was never the same. This like magic, magic part at the beginning. His voice echoes off of like every wall. It seems to ricochet, and when it does that, the pitch shifts every time. It's like magic, magic, and it just like bounces all over the place. And he gives like a wink, and he does a few little things like that, and like strums he strums like a little wood harp. And you see the people that are nearest to the stage, like, wow, they become really fascinated by his performance.
You think that magic is impressive? I'll show you something. I think Noxiqual's he's not like drunk, but he's like more bold a little bit, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at Lykar and I'm like, should I show them some real magic? What do you think?
Be my guest.
And that's all I need, Lykar's approval.
Yeah.
I start like doing some big gestures with my hands, and shadows like form up, and I'm casting Major Image first off, so you know. So like the shadows form up and form into.
I must interrupt you. Your shadows start to form. The bard strikes his harp, and he makes this noise like his notes start piercing. Oh, what level of spell is that?
Oh, trying to spell me, huh?
What level of spell is it?
It is a 3rd level spell, but I'm casting it as a 5th level spell because Warlocks always cast at the highest spell slot.
You're casting it as a 5th level spell slot. Okay.
I'm
gonna roll a thing.
Oh, this is great.
So it'd be DC 10 plus level, so DC 15. 21. Your shadow goes just like a little puff of smoke.
As that happens,
the bard inhales the smoke,
and
he blows out a ship. Okay,
I have to interrupt you because I cast the spell magic.
Okay, so he starts blowing out this ship of smoke, and like before the ship even completely forms, you start to see like a unicorn horn spiraling out, and then you cast your dispel, and the ship just like
Drake also wants to in on this. He's gonna he has minor illusion. He's gonna drop a minor illusion right on the minstrel, right next to his ear, and it's just gonna be this loud gong. And he's going to do it with a snap of his finger. So the gong goes right off at the snap of the finger.
Oh, man. If only Carderock was here.
Yeah. Whoa! The minstrel fellow nearly falls off of the stool that he's sitting on. He finds that to be pretty humorous, in fact. And he as well uses a minor illusion at you. And it sounds like... Well, there was a certain sound that Robin heard just recently at the Lusty Mermaid of yelps and squeals and screams of a certain kind. And a veritable orgy erupts in your ear.
This is Drake. This is Drake.
The loudest sound of which it's probably not anyone you're familiar with. The loudest sound. Ooh, the loudest sound of which is Gior, the guy at your table, going like, "Oh!"
Drake's just gonna look confused. He's just gonna look downright confused.
What is the bard?
What is this noise?
What is the bard's race?
Human.
Human. All right, I'm gonna raise my glass. I'm gonna say, "I like you, bard. I like you." I'm gonna drink some of my wine.
Drake's just gonna look around.
He doesn't say any words back. He just gives a little tip of his hat. The hat that he wears is a strange looking thing. So you're all probably familiar with like the cornered type hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just think of your like old school tricorn hat.
Yeah.
But it not only has that, it has a part that like comes up and like comes down as well. Like I don't know the name, like a floppy hat.
Is it like a rope? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh,
I know.
It's a hat. Yeah, it's a hat.
I know that.
So he does grab the peak and he like gives you that kind of saucy grin, and he continues the performance. Gior got embarrassed by that. He got terribly embarrassed, and his cheeks got even more flushed. Probably already flushed because he's half drunk, but his face turns like beet red, and he's just like mortified.
Is Gior that really talkative guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to just play it off and take focus away from GR so he can recover on his own. I'm not going to draw more attention to him.
Yeah, I'd like to. I want to like scoot next to him and sort of put my arm around him and say, "It's all right.
Whoa.
Don't worry."
Whoa, hey. I
Drake's
appreciate
just gonna reach for another apple and start eating it. It's just, whatever.
We should all talk, though. I think we have some stuff to discuss.
Yes, I have many things to discuss with you, Noxiqual.
Well,
So does the party want to just talk amongst yourselves now and not in the company of NPCs?
Drake does have one question for the NPCs.
oh yeah, go for it.
Is there a place for warriors to go and prove themselves?
The Lusty Mermaid.
Prove themselves in combat. Let me rephrase that. Prove themselves
You
in
wouldn't
combat.
know. Show up like ready to fight, and they're like, yes, fight is in the bedroom over here.
It's over there.
You would get arrested for that. All the courtesans are knocked out in pain.
Okay, so
Go past my room. What are those two people doing wrestling in there?
So Gior says, "Well, there's not an arena or I'm hearing a Bazagoan dialect here, so we don't have an arena like what you would know of from your city. But I mean, if it's a fight you're looking for, you can always find one. You could wrestle with Bristleboar. Yeah, he takes part in that every day, I think."
Who's this Bristleboar you speak of?
Big fellow, not the brightest. Groundskeeper there at the Temple of Ages.
This one met him tonight already. Didn't I have any challenge from him other than to leave the temple?
Talk to him during the morning. Maybe he'll be in
This
better
one
spirits.
will. This one shall do that.
Got a wild hair to take him on one day.
Do you really? Do you think
Getting close, I think, to being ready for that.
And this
I'd bet on you.
I'd bet on me too. Both of them, like barrels of solid steel.
Drake takes an apple
does a
and
bit of flexing and stuff.
Drake takes an apple and bounces off the table at his head.
Hey, I didn't say I was an acrobat.
This one does not believe you are ready.
Well,
I'm gonna look at him and
this
say,
one is gonna decide when this one is ready, and not you.
I think you should fight him tonight.
What? Right now?
Right now, go fight him. I will come along. We'll watch.
I'm not gonna go assault a man at night. God, get me thrown into jail.
Does sound like a bad idea, Robin.
Maybe, but I don't know.
Not sure how you elves do it, but we're civilized around here. Belches.
Yeah, I think that's I'm gonna sort of wipe out and say, yes, very civilized indeed.
That's a time-honored tradition. There's a belching contest here every summer, every Midsummer's Eve celebration.
I'm sure it's very civilized, as you say.
Well, the best ale in the city deserves a right proper froggish roar. I mean, it is called hoppers after all.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the ale that's still sitting in front of me that I've barely drank, and I'm gonna say, best ale in the city.
No wonder you elves don't belch. You don't drink real brew.
Go back to my wine glass and sip that.
Yes. Wow.
Okay, you know
Would
what
you
they
like
say
to
about
chew your
Holland.
beer?
I'd much rather chew a nice stout beer than sip on grape water.
Well, I do think we need to call it an evening. We have many things that we need to discuss back on the ship.
Come on, boys. We should get some rest ourselves. It's going to be an early day tomorrow. The guys kind of groan and such, and they get up from the table. They give you, like, slaps on your shoulders, and they say, all right, all the best to you on your adventures, and don't get yourselves killed.
We'll try our best not to.
Well, we'll make sure that there's some stories to tell when we get back.
I want to hear them. You better believe it.
Hoppers will be here.
All right. So Gior and his fellows make their departure, and you all now can chat just amongst yourselves.
Cool. I figured a safer place to chat might not be in the middle of the tavern, but what do you think, Esper? Is this private? Seems kind of public.
Is there like a private area in the tavern, perhaps?
You could go back to a corner.
Let's go to a corner. We'll take a small risk talking about it there, but yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Drake can set up a minor illusion of white noise around us.
Okay.
Okay.
White
So
noise.
you all
How do you know what
retreat-
white noise is?
Well, like different noises just to drown us.
I think as long as we whisper and be quiet about it, I think we should be fine.
Okay, so
agree.
you all retreat to the upstairs area, this kind of balcony area, and go into a dim corner. Drake puts up this kind of whirring sound of whatever wind or something.
Monks. It's pretty much just monks chanting. That's
I'm gonna raise my eyebrow.
I just think of that movie when they're just going whack, and they whack themselves on the head. I don't remember what movie that was, but
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
oh, okay.
All right. Let's go down the line and discuss what we've all learned. Starting with Mr. Hot Pants over here and his mermaid adventure.
Oh yes, oh yes. So would you like to hear about the first girl or the third girl?
How about you just stick to the part where you said you were going there for information on this captain?
Ah yes, the captain. Yes, I did learn quite a bit. It cost me a pretty penny, but I did learn quite a bit. So it turns out that he does indeed visit the Lusty Mermaid quite often indeed. I was talking with the owner of the place, the Madame Marmalade, quite a fantastic woman, I might say. The woman that I was with, Fair Varen, was also apparently in his acquaintance for perhaps some service business, as she said. I was told to return in 3 days' time, and we may discuss with him about whatever it is that we would like to learn. She said that she would try her best to set up a meeting for us, and I do indeed trust her, madam.
And what exactly is it that you think we'll be learning there?
I don't know exactly. It does seem that he has something to do with the Cartographers Guild. It seems like he does not enjoy their maps that they've been making. He thinks that they're completely off and the islands have been moving from his travels. Seems to be quite the very talkative kind of man. Very oh god, what's the word? What was the word they used? Strong-willed? No, not strong-willed.
Provocateur.
Provocateur, yes, very provocative.
Yeah, there seems to be something more than just the maps. I mean, the map issue is enough as it is, but he's like directly like socially attacking those actual people and like wants them removed from power.
Personal issue.
Yeah, there's something personal going on. So I believe that, and also, I mean, since he is a great captain, I think that we perhaps could learn something. Even maybe you, Noxiqual.
I think I've already learned more by talking to some of these tavern patrons than you found out in your time at the whorehouse.
But you see, I had a much more fantastic time than you did. My 2 hours with that one lady was much better than spending a time in here with greasy old men.
Is there anything on the table that Drake can bounce off at Robin's head?
Of course there is.
Okay, he's gonna take something and just bounce it at Robin.
Spoon hit.
I want to try and dodge it.
Do I need to make an attack?
We can play this out. So, so it's just gonna be like a dexterity contest, I believe.
Okay.
Who's got the better dex? Oh boy, this is actually.
I'm maxed on dex.
So am I.
Doesn't matter.
I get plus 11 to my dex. Oh wait, is it a straight dex check or is it acrobat?
Crap.
I would give you a dexterity saving throw to avoid it.
Lykar's just sitting back like children.
Okay,
I'll let them work it out.
Yep, pretty much.
I got a 19.
I feel you, man.
You're gonna beat my 7. I got a 2 on my roll.
All right. So like when he throws the spoon at me, I kind of want to dodge, grab it, and
I'm bouncing it off the table. I'm bouncing it off the table. So it doesn't bounce. It just hits the table and just slides.
Yeah. When it happens and I see his indication, I'm gonna sort of pick it up, look at it, and then throw it back at his face.
Okay, so we're now doing the same but in reverse.
Yeah.
So Robin takes a straight dexterity. It's basically like a improvised attack, and then Drake make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have better on that one. I'm gonna have 16 on that.
I got an 18.
Woo!
Oh wait,
Drake, you were not injured in a hit point since you were popped upside the head by a wooden spoon.
I might be able to dodge that.
You're looking for your deflect arrows thing. It is.
Yes, exactly.
Basically,
I have open hands, so I just grab it.
The 2 most dexterous characters in the game are just like throwing spoons at each other.
And the 2 charisma characters are just like children.
So I just grab it and just set it down.
Yeah, it's like headed like right between your eyes, and you grab it like right before it gets to you.
I'm gonna look at Noxiqual. I'm gonna say, he started it.
I don't care who started.
Well, I care who started it. I don't like spoons being thrown at me.
Pulls out a knife.
Knock it out.
Pulls out a dagger.
That escalates quickly. All right. Lykar, you have my permission to fireball them if they keep this up.
Very well.
The 2 guys with evasion, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Though I do want to ask you, Nick. Does Robin tell them about the meeting that you have arranged?
I think he
did. I did. I told them about that.
You told them? Okay. So in 3 days' time, or rather in 3 nights' time, apparently your party can go back to the Lusty Mermaid, where Lady Marmalade will have done her best efforts to get you in contact with Captain Rojas, who seems to not mingle much with the common swill that mills about the streets of Grenadoa.
Yes.
So you're saying that he's in town?
Yes. the madam, as I put my dagger away, did indeed say that he was in town and he did frequent, or at least was at the Lusty Mermaid. Even the girl that I was with, Baron, she said that they had done some things together.
Yes.
The Lady Marmalade, she did not specifically say he's in town right now.
Oh, did she not? Oh, I'm sorry.
She didn't go completely and say that. And also, you did not see the Levin Gouger ship in port either.
Correct.
That's true. Yeah. So she wasn't in town. Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
But for whatever you want to infer from it, it seems like she knew when he was going to be around.
And she knows sort of his dealings.
Listen, Robin, you seem like a lad that believes what people tell you often, but in my experience,
that I was lied to.
In my experience, one has to verify certain things that people say, as they might be lying or perhaps even exaggerating truths. As I'm sure you have no notion or experience with this, I am simply informing you. She might not actually know where Captain Rojas is going to be, and she might have simply wanted to entice you back there to spend more coin in the hopes of meeting him.
Perhaps. But think of this. Even if she's lying, I have a very beautiful lady that likes me now.
I guess that's something to keep on living for. Anyways. I have some news to add to this. Me and Lykar found out that the Levin Gouger seems to have some sort of way through the mists. We believe it has something to do with a light that they have on the bow of their ship. The bow is the front, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, good. I'm making sure I didn't mess up.
I think so. With all those nautical terms.
Yeah, I'm tired. Like, I'd normally know that off my cuff. The bow of their ship, it has this white fire, similar to the lighthouse. I'm thinking this captain may have stolen some fire from the lighthouse and perhaps uses it to cut through the mists.
It could come in handy to us. We should perhaps investigate the lighthouse to begin with.
Yes, you have guessed accurately what my next statement would be. We need to investigate the lighthouse because there could be much profit if we could travel to Bazagon and bring goods to and from Dreckingen.
I'm always up for more money in my pocket.
But let's also discuss Drake. There's a matter that we need to attend to a certain, so we say, masked one who we owe a debt to. And that must come before all other debts.
The captain owes a debt.
We all owe debts, Robin, in one way or another. So, we've heard of a prophet, a Thanel, who is currently 6 or so days away, perhaps. Wait, does it take 6 days to get to Raven?
Just walking there or going by the road, it would take you 3, maybe slightly less.
3 days to Raven.
Ravenswold.
Ravenswold, yep. I brought up the map here on my phone. Yep, Ravenswold. And we think that perhaps with her help we might be able to locate the sunken ship where you went down. And then if it is in the mists, as you said it was, we're going to need that fire, perhaps, from the lighthouse to help get us through.
You know, if we're going to Ravenswold, the girl I was with at the Lusty Mermaid, she's from there. Perhaps she could provide some more information.
You just want an excuse to go back. I'm not giving you more money. You'll do it out of your own pocket.
Fine, but I am going back.
Yes. Well, make sure you get yourself
Drake's
checked
gonna
out.
Drake's gonna point out, Robin. That one is gonna sleep as far away from this one as possible from now on.
I'm gonna like scoot up a little closer, and be like, "What's wrong, Drake?" and put my arm around you. Are you scared of my cooties?
Drake's gonna take his hand. Or no, he's just gonna shadow step to the other side of the table.
Robin, I have my first official order for you. When you get back to the ship, you're to see Jandrel immediately, the healer on the ship, and get yourself checked out.
I'm gonna like go up to sort of like go against it and argue against it, and then I'm gonna be like, fair enough.
There's some additional cargo on board the ship.
Yeah, you smell like you've been bathing in the piss pots.
It's called perfume Lykar from women.
All right.
Veron seemed to be mindful of her hygiene.
You're lucky I didn't sleep with the fishy one.
Well, there's, knowing you wouldn't make the distinction. Here's what I have to say. There's one last thing about Ravenswold. We know that they have some sort of affiliation with the one known as the Raven Queen there. They seem to worship or perhaps have some sort of cult perhaps there.
We'll have to be careful
Be on
then.
our guard.
I said we'll have to be careful then.
Indeed.
Just
She's
a quick
not-
note that this is something your characters would understand. The word cult is used in a traditional sense in this world.
Correct.
So just cult itself does not mean like, aha, human sacrifice, we're evil. It's not always that. It could just be a sect that's dedicated to a specific god.
So cult
That-
could just be
Like
religious
Drake. Drake would be like part of a cult of Dionysus, essentially.
Correct. I was using it in that intention, not
Okay.
as a let's cut out their heart and Kalima any outsiders.
Right.
Wait,
I mean,
wait.
it could be that, but
It
it's
could.
not. It's not necessarily.
I think we should form a cult together called like it could be like the Noxiqual cult.
Okay.
And-
Well,
yeah.
the first step is all Robins have to go through the whipping. We line up along the ship, and you run down the center of the aisle, and we all get to like whip.
I don't think I like this cult idea anymore.
Okay. But then you see, when you get to the other side, we get paddles, and you have to run back through the other way.
Mm. All right, so let's start wrapping things up here. So
Yeah.
it sounds like your characters are interested in traveling to Ravenswold to seek out Fainel Donnan, and hopefully she has some sort of insight she can give you about locating the sunken ship Siren's Kiss that Drake was on.
Before we
Here's
do end, Drake, did you learn anything from the day on the city?
This one did not learn much. This one mostly spent time in self-reflection.
Petting his falcon.
Yeah, and the Falcon training. Do you mention what you saw at the seaside shrine?
Just the Weaver.
Yeah, he's gonna mention that. He's gonna mention seeing this weird. The two people there making this, claiming an ultimate sacrifice, and being a little worried about what they actually sacrificed.
Do you think
We
perhaps we
should check
should investigate that?
Yeah, we definitely should check that. So we have a couple options before us. We're definitely going to decide before the next session. But here's my 2 cents, being the leader, not really.
Yeah, the personal leader.
Noxiqual would push for leaving the ship in port here, having his NPC crew follow up on anything that we're not doing immediately, but that we want answers on, like the captain. If the captain comes back into port, perhaps set up an official meeting with him, not some backroom doxy house, meeting, or have him go meet up with the madam in 3 days and see if it's actually, she can deliver the goods. I like the Cult of the Sortis the Weaver thing. I think we should do that next time on the session, and then head out to Ravenswold. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
The
I'm
cult-
with you.
The cult
Here's
is the
the-
one, right?
It's the sacrifice at the shrine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care of the
Sortis.
shrine, and then
All of the shrine that you went to.
Yeah.
It may not take very long in the session to investigate that, or it might be part of a good deal of the
Yeah.
session.
We could
Mhm.
perhaps, depending on how long that takes too, if we do that I don't know how many, depending on how long it takes, we could potentially go back and like see if the lady is also going to have captain, or we could just go straight to the Ravenswald. Either one, I'm fine with.
It's more along the lines of, I think that we can afford to not meet the guy if we really absolutely need to.
Yeah.
You know? But good job on the character. Good job on like pursuing that lead. Like it opened up an opportunity, and the more opportunities we have, the better.
I do like the Ravenswald stuff though with the cult. That sounds very interesting. Like it sounds a little.
Well, yeah, we definitely need to talk with this Captain Rojas and check out his ship, whether he lets us or not.
Nice. Yeah, I like all these. I like all these ideas. The Shrine of Sortiza here in Grenadilla, the Captain Rojas and 11 Gouger ship, and then the potential with Ravenswold and Fainal Donnan, who's traveling through there. So we've opened up some plot lines tonight and kind of started some quests. And I'll be very interested to see where they all go.
You did a great job, Esper, throwing out all these bait, for the hooks.
Yeah, there's a lot of avenues we can go down here.
I like how they naturally developed. It wasn't like, oh, this old man in the tavern's like, I've got a quest for you.
Look at
I'd do it if I was a bit younger.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you guys so much. It was another great session.
It was an excellent session.
Thanks, Esper. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
We're going to vote off camera.
We'll do the vote off camera. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks' time.
See you in 2 weeks, all.
All right.
Good evening.